Alrighty. We are live. Audio looks good. Well, welcome in. Hi, everyone. I am Walter Snackle Fox, a snacks-themed VTuber, adventurer, programmer from the Snackleverse. Tonight, we are not playing a game. We are reading through the last bit of a novel series, I guess, a light novel series called Surviving in Another World as a Villainous Fox Girl. The villainous part of that title is a little sus. She is the most wholesome being you've ever seen. Super fluffy, super cute, as you can see if you saw my Twitter post. But let's get started. By the way, we are starting off on chapter 7 tonight. We previously read through book 1, which is about 9 or 10 chapters. And then in 2 other streams, we read through chapters 1 through 6. Now we're about to start on chapter 7. Recap up to now. Miku, the fox girl in question, the adorable, super cute, super fluffy, super wonderful love interest, is the main character. And she is part of a guild in a fantasy world. And the purpose of this guild, ostensibly, is to, earn money as a corporation-like entity, handle jobs, solve problems, that type of thing. But she is actually part of an Otome novel series or Otome video game series on Earth, and the real purpose of this guild is to find her people to marry, or at least it's a game where she is going to get married, or somebody is going to get married, maybe not necessarily her. So, as this game goes on, the characters from Earth get isekai'd into another world, this Otome visual novel, and now have to figure out what's going on based on what they already know about the plot and multiple plot lines and routes that it can take. Miku might be in danger, because if she ever falls in love and her love does not return her affection and marry her, she just might die because she's cursed. Double love, double danger. Alright, let's get on with it. Chapter 7, The Butterfly's Wings. We immediately begin putting Hector's plan into motion. Macro's already gone by the time we get back, with only Claire and Lara in the dining room. After checking in on them, Hector says he's going to pay Kiefer a visit and heads back out the door. As he turns to go, our eyes meet, and he gives a tiny nod, imperceptible by anyone other than myself. I guess that's my sign to keep an eye on Claire and Lara. Leave it to me. Welcome back, Miku. Hector seems busy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got a call almost as soon as we got back. Lara begins chattering away with her usual enthusiasm as soon as she spots me walking to the dining room table, and I try to answer as non-committedly as possible. I have no idea if Hector actually got a call, but I'm okay with small lies like that, though honestly, it's enough to make me kind of anxious. I'm so bad at this. Did everyone head out for work? This time Claire answers my question as I try to change the subject. I won't last much longer if we continue talking about things I need to lie about. Rini had the job to do, but he said he'll be back later tonight. Angela went for a training session and should be home sometime in the afternoon. I see. In that case, I'll have to wait for Angela to come back before I can tell her that Hector wants to talk to her. I might be able to give Claire a brief overview if we end up being alone together. Wait, what about Macro? He must have left the guild too, right? Which reminds me, I promised that we'd go to the witch doctor's place together. Then I left him behind. I hope he's not mad. What do I do if he hates me now? Which leaves Macro, who went to his room. We were having a really great conversation too. But as soon as he realized you'd left, he got all flustered. I tried cheering him up, but he was so upset. He went straight to his room without another word. I guess you planned on going out together, huh? And you went and left him behind? Laura managed to solidify my thoughts into words. He looked upset. Oh no, I really did make him mad. What kind of excuse can I come up with? As I desperately racked my brain for ideas, Claire gently bonks Laura on the head. This is all your fault for talking his ears off. Miku didn't want to be late, which is understandable, and Macro wasn't upset, just grumpy and sad. No need for nasty remarks. I see. Macro's not angry, just sad, which isn't much better. Honestly, I'm such a dummy. This is still my fault, not Laura's. Teehee. Sorry. Miku looks so cute when I tease her. I can't help it. She sticks out her tongue while giggling. Seeing her like that only further solidifies my feelings that she's not a bad person. Though I wish she'd knock it off with the teasing. She's really dangerous. Something's gotta happen, guys. I don't know what's going on. This whole situation is definitely my fault for talking Macro's ear off. Miku went on ahead, causing Macro to get upset over the entire situation. I'm sorry, Laura apologized. It's fine, really. Don't worry about it, was my nervous reply. See, her honest apology proves she's not a bad person. She just likes to joke around because she's so friendly and outgoing. It's just that I have the biggest crush on Macro, and I really wanted to chat with him. What? Despite how much I care for Laura and the pendant around my neck, pain rips through my chest from the mark on my skin. Why? Because she has a crush on him, Macro? I'm sorry. I know you like Macro too, but it looks like I developed my own feelings for him. Laura, why did you feel the need to tell her that? Laura likes Macro too? My chest throbs relentlessly. She has this, curse on her chest that revealed itself after she, got the first pangs of love. And this curse could kill her if it's not removed. Like I said, if the wrong love operations happen. That was around the time Laura and Candace started bickering. According to what Claire remembers of the original plot of the Otome game, Candace is the rival character for Macro's route in the game. In other words, I guess this isn't Hector's route after all, but Macro's. I'd feel like a big old liar if I didn't say anything at all. I'm really sorry, Miku, but I refuse to compromise on love. With that said, I know we'll find another way to break your curse. I'm sure of it. Oh, Miku wants to think the best of her, but she's evil. Or something like it. She seems to know a lot of what's going on. I figured as much. Laura's been acting incredibly touchy-feely with Macro lately. I didn't want to admit that she liked him. I didn't want to believe it, so I didn't push it because I didn't want her to prove my feels were real. I buried my head in the sand and ignored it. That doesn't solve anything, does it? All I ever do is avoid painful realities instead of facing them. I always run away, but I have to face the facts. Laura is my rival now. What do I do? How can I compete against someone as sweet, innocent, but also alluringly charming as her? My self-confidence is embarrassingly low, but I have a hard time making decisions, and I have so few things I'm good at. There's no way I can even hope to win. My chest feels so tight, the pain almost unbearable. Come on, the way you're talking, it sounds like you've already got your wedding date planned. With my head down and my pendant grabbed tightly in my fist, I didn't notice Claire stand up and walk over to my side. She places her hand gently on my back, her warmth a huge comfort. I look up to see her shooting daggers at Laura, a sharp glint in her stare. Wait, Claire, Laura's not a bad person. It's just that she likes macro too. That we like the same person doesn't make her the bad guy here. And yet, I can't bring myself to say any of that out loud. Why? I really do believe that Laura isn't doing anything wrong, and yet I can't bring myself to say it out loud. I can't believe what a horrible person I've become. I'm such a coward. I hate this ugly side of me. Well, I mean, the heroine always gets the guy, right? Heroine? And by here, heroine, she means like the main female character, not like the drug. Just as I find myself about to get dragged into a spiral of self-loathing, her words snap me back to reality. Heroine? Sounds like a word straight out of Claire's game. Wait, what's going on? Is she just like Claire in that she knows the plot of the game? No way! I'm jumping to conclusions. Yawn. I'm incredibly sleepy. Macro probably won't come out anytime soon. I'm gonna take a nap. Good night. Hey, who said you could leave? Clearly not wanting to continue this conversation any longer, Laura suddenly gets up and wanders off in the direction of her room, pretending she can't hear Claire, who's shouting after her angrily. To be fair, this is pretty suspicious. That she has ties to a criminal organization is one thing, and in fact I still don't believe is true, but there's no doubt she's aware of the unfolding story. I guess this means she's not my rival. I'm the heroine's rival, right? So in other words, things are happening exactly the way Claire said they would. The moment I realize what's going on, the world around me gets fuzzy. Let's try and relax for now, okay? I'll go get you a hot cup of tea. Thanks! Claire looks away like she's seconds away from chasing Laura down and giving her a piece of her mind, but seeing how pale I am, she immediately begins fussing over me instead, clearly worried. Sorry for being such a disappointing sister, I mumble out of earshot of Claire while she heads over to a nearby chair before I can topple over and thank her as she hands me a cup of relaxing herbal tea. The two of us sit there in silence, and after a few moments, I realize my fingertips are slowly starting to warm back up thanks to the hot beverage. I'm feeling a bit better. Claire, I hate to change the subject, but I should take advantage of us having some alone time to fill her in on what happened earlier and our plan moving forward. I really want to talk about this heroin business, but I should get this out of the way first. Claire's expression only grows more grim the more I talk. Once I finish, she crosses her arms, slumps back in her chair, and heaves a huge, exasperated sigh. An unsavory character, huh? Makes sense. She could be far worse, I guess, especially considering she remembers her past life. So Laura's just like you, Claire? Yes, without a doubt. She speaks without a moment of hesitation. I've never heard anyone mention the word heroin outside of myself and Hector. I doubt most folks here are even familiar with what it means. The only reason I know it is because Claire's been using that word since as far back as I can remember. That seems to be the deciding factor to Claire, who is convinced beyond a doubt that Laura is another reborn, aka person isekai'd into this world. Their shared circumstances makes it a certainty. So we know for sure that Laura has memories from her past life, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean she's a bad person. What are you talking about? Didn't you just see what she just did? She was obviously trying to antagonize you, Miku. She looks at me, seemingly in disbelief, her eyes wide with shock. Huh? She was trying to start a fight with me just now? I don't think so. I murmur quietly. Claire stares back at me incredulously, but I have the right to share how I feel too. Even if what you say is true, falling in love with someone isn't something you can necessarily help. There's no point in getting mad about it. Love is just something that happens, right? I asked timidly. Claire looks like she's about to say something before stopping herself. This happened several more times. Did I do something wrong? I'm sorry. Claire finally heaves a huge sigh and begins to speak, her tone weary. I doubt that Laura is actually in love with Macro, despite what she said. I respect your opinion, Miku, but I still think Laura is a big, fat liar. That's just the way she is. And this isn't the first time you've been ridiculously nice to someone to the point of idiocy. Don't you think that's a bit harsh? It's such a blatant statement that it feels almost like a slap in the face. I mean, niceness is one of your good points too, she says, trying to comfort me, but it's a little too late for that. Look, Hector was right when he said it's our job to be suspicious of everyone. I'm not one for complimenting that jerk, but I agree with him. It's okay that you see the good side of Laura. It comes with the territory of being an angel after all. I'm not really an angel. Claire calls me that from time to time. But if we're twins, then wouldn't that make her an angel too? She's always quick to say otherwise. Why am I the only angel? Leave everything to me. So what are you going to do now? Well, Hector told me to keep an eye on Laura. I feel like I'm being shoved to the side. So now's not the time to worry about that. Claire suddenly snaps me out of my thoughts. Wrong. You need to march upstairs and apologize to Macro. I hadn't been expecting such an enthusiastic response. Then she flicks my forehead with her index finger. Oh, wait. I should go see Macro? I feel my face growing head at her unexpected words. Now I'm actually angry. For crying out loud, I'm grateful that Hector noticed what was going on and followed you. I can't believe you were about to head out by yourself. I'm sorry. Uh-oh. She's starting to lecture me for real. She's right, though. I almost did head into town on my own. It's only because Hector suddenly appeared that I didn't. After getting kidnapped, I promised not to go out anywhere without an escort. I'm not the one you should be apologizing to. Even if you don't have romantic feelings for him, you should go say you're sorry for leaving him behind and breaking your promise. You're right. I will. Claire's right. There's no doubt I'm to blame for this entire situation. Ugh, how am I going to face him feeling like this? Now, no, this isn't the time to start feeling sorry for myself. I'll keep an eye on Laura, though I guess I'm off duty while she's up in her room. Okay, I'm sorry, but I appreciate everything, Claire. Thanks for making me aware of the situation. If she hadn't said what she did, things would probably have stayed awkward between me and Macro for a while longer. I'm embarrassed, I feel so sad, and I'm really scared about what Macro might say. But if you do something wrong, you should apologize. I squeeze the pennant in my hand, black like Macro's favorite color, square my shoulders, and head over to his room. Inhale. Exhale. I take several deep breaths, and yet I still can't find the courage to make a move. I'm such a big dummy, but I'd promised Claire I'd apologize. Okay, just knock on his door. I take one more deep breath before reaching forward and knocking, or at least I was about to, when suddenly his door swings open and Macro pokes his head out, looking annoyed. I think my heart stopped for a minute there. Macro! Sorry, but you've been standing there for a while now, so I wanted to know why. You noticed me standing here? He has somehow heard me fidgeting outside his room like some kind of burglar. My face is beet red from embarrassment. My ears and tail are sticking straight up, the fur all puffed out. Eat. An awkward silence deepens between us. Macro is the first one to break it, unable to stand it for a moment more. Come in, I guess, he says, seeing me seemingly frozen in place while hugging my tail to my chest. Ugh, I can't really do anything right. But there's nothing I can do out here, and I promised I'd apologize. After stepping inside, I immediately hear the sound of Macro closing the door behind us. Okay, I roll around on the spot and bow in Macro's direction. I'm so sorry. He sounds clearly puzzled. I immediately stand up straight, only to see his clearly baffled expression. He seems slightly put off. Don't give up just yet. You can do this. I know we promised to go out together, and then I ended up leaving by myself, which is why I'm really sorry. I heard from Laurie that you were upset when you found out. My apology flies out in a burst of words as he stands there, stock still with bewilderment. Saying it out loud really brings home how awful I acted. I feel so bad about it. The silence between us deepens for a moment longer. I realize the tension in Macro's body is gone. He finally opens his mouth to speak. I was worried. I know. I feel so bad. But he really is kind, considering he wasn't angry with me at all, just worried for my safety. Hearing him say that only makes my love for him go stronger, and I feel my heart ache. It's not painful, though. I remain silent, and before long, he asks me a question. Did you go by yourself? Well, Hector appeared almost immediately after I left the house, so he went with me. You went with Hector? I answer his question honestly in my attempt at putting him at ease. There's a pause. Then he brings his hand to his mouth, his fingers curled into a fist as if troubled by something. Huh? Did I say something wrong? I see. Good for you. He finally says after a pause, refusing to look me in the eyes. The expression on his face seems at odd with his words. There's clearly something bothering him. Is something wrong? I asked timidly. It might just be my imagination, but Macro seems more on edge than when I first got here. It's probably nothing, but if he's still upset about something, then I want to know so I can apologize properly. What he says next, which he offers without more than a glance in my direction, takes me completely by surprise. No, I just didn't realize that Hector is the guy you liked. He is, right? It's so good for you. Huh? What? Where is this coming from? Why does he think I like Hector? So startled that my ears and tail immediately stand straight up again. Not expecting my shout of surprise, he turns to face me, his eyes wide in confusion. It's a look I've grown used to over the past few minutes. This is... No. This is not the time for random observations. You've got it all wrong. Huh? Now it's my turn to set things straight. I don't want there to be any more confusion, especially because the person I like isn't Hector, it's Macro. Don't tell me it's Rennie. Absolutely not. He tosses out another name, his nose wrinkled in disgust, and I immediately shoot it down. An expression of relief crosses his face as the tension leaves his shoulders. Does he really dislike Rennie that much? So then, who can it be? Kiefer. No, right? Can't be Wells, meaning the only one left is... He strokes his chin in confusion as he tries to work out the answer. Hold on. Obviously, he's not great at math. It's only a matter of time before he realizes that. Huh? Then it can't be, can it? He suddenly freezes before speaking more gibberish. Sounding increasingly more confused, he shoots me a look of blank amazement, and I feel immediately all the blood in my body rush to my cheeks. A few moments pass in silence. It could have been several hours for all I know. It's not long before Macro's face turns bright red. What do I do? Miku! Look, I'm sorry. I just wanted to apologize. That's why I came here, and now I'm leaving. Goodbye. He's about to say something, but I've reached my limit. I can't handle even one more moment more. Nope, it's impossible. I'm so flustered that I have no idea what I'm even saying, only that I need to get out of here as quickly as possible. I turn to run out the door when he stops me. Wait. The moment I turn back to look at him, he grabs my wrist and pulls me close. My heart's beating so loudly, it sounds like it's inside of my ears. I freeze, unable to move. His grip on my wrist feels strangely hot. I need you to say it. Say what? I croak, barely able to speak. There's no way I can look him in the face now. The silence stretches out between us more. What does he want me to say? It's only a few seconds, but it feels like an eternity. Just as I'm about to open my mouth, Macro does first. Actually, never mind, I'm sorry. Okay. And with that, he releases his grip on my wrist. I'm half relieved, but also sad at the same time. See you. I murmur quietly before leaving his room for real. I close the door behind me and slump to the ground, my face buried in my hands. I love you, Macro. My emotions are just too strong to keep bottled inside me any longer, but my voice is so quiet that my words are immediately sucked into the hallway carpet, inaudible to anyone but me. Whew. She is a tidal wave of emotion, and I'm wondering if she has an attachment style. Like, seriously. She's got something going on. Reminds me of myself, unfortunately. Not from the overwhelming emotion, but the scared about doing anything. I head over back to where Claire is. She immediately starts grilling me after seeing how furiously I'm brushing. You should have come clean and told him the truth, she says. I know she's right, yet that simple act seemed impossible at the time. I just couldn't do it, Claire. I was panicking, and my heart was beating so loud. I had no idea what to do. Oh gosh, you're so cute. You're too cute, Miku. I'm sorry. When she says that, with a straight face though, it makes her sound more angry. Sigh, my face is still hot. She figured it out, didn't he? He must have. What do I do? How can I ever face him again now that he knows? What's wrong, Miku? I forgot something super important. I didn't mention anything to Macro about Hector's plan regarding Lara. I can't go back and tell him now. There's no way I can face him again after what happened, at least not today. I begin begging Claire for help before I realize what's happening. I should have seen this coming. Look, don't worry, I'll go tell him. Laura's still locked in her room, and Angela should be back soon. I doubt it'll take long, so just wait right here, Miku. Claire, I thank you so much. I love you. I can always depend on her for anything. I hug her tightly, and she hugs me back. She looks so cute when her pink tail wags side to side. I can tell that she's happy. Okay, I'll be right back. But in case Laura comes downstairs, don't feel like you need to talk to her. Go make her tea or something, okay? Got it! Laura is one of my best friends, so there's really nothing to be worried about. But I understand everyone's concern, which complicates things. Especially since I get the feeling Laura's hiding something from me. Though it's only natural that people have one or two things about them that they prefer to keep secret. Still, it seems like whatever it is she's hiding, she's doing it in a way she wants me to notice what she's doing. She has a secret treasure squirreled away, and she's trying to get me to find it, whatever that may be. Thank you. Laura? Laura comes up behind me mere seconds after Claire disappears from the room. Oh, she's sneaky. Her timing is almost too perfect to be a coincidence. Even a slow person like me can tell she planned this so we'd be alone together. I'm sorry. I don't get along well with Claire. I mean, how can I when she hates me so much? Laura chuckles while scratching absently at her cheek with her index finger, looking kind of sad. She's right. She can tell the others are suspicious of her. I mean, it's written on Claire's face every time they're together. I'm sorry, I say, my head bowed, but she simply sits down in the chair next to mine, as if it didn't bother her. She rests her elbow on the table and her chin in her hand before glancing over at me. So, Macro seems to be in a good mood, huh? She says while grinning at me, the joy on her face seemingly genuine. It catches me off guard so much I yelp in surprise. What? But how? How does she know that? And why is she so happy about it? I mean, I thought she liked Macro. I'm happy for you. Actually, I've been waiting for this, because I like you so much, Miku. I want you to be happy from the bottom of my heart. Truly. Wait, what? But I don't get the sense she's forcing the cheerful smile that's on her face. If she's lying, I certainly can't tell, but I have a hunch she's telling the truth. I truly mean it. Really, truly mean it. I want nothing more than for you to be happy, and yet no matter how much I pray, it never happens. Because I'm the heroine. Huh? I find myself at a loss for words feeling as if we're suddenly touching on the heart of the matter. She really did refer to herself as the heroine. My heart starts to race. It's called rewriting the script. It's pretty tricky to do, and yet no matter how much I tried, it never worked, because the heroine is destined to be with the hero, but their love is conditional, and that condition is the existence of a rival the heroine has to fight in order to win over the object of their desire. It's an absolute necessity for a happy ending. What are you saying? She continues, seemingly ignoring my confusion. The heroine is destined to be with the hero? She means that in the game Claire always talked about? I'm getting so confused it's hard to think straight. How should I put this? How should I put this? Basically, in order for the heroine to get together with the hero, there has to be conflict, which in this case is where the rival comes in. Which is why I feel so bad saying this, considering how much I adore you, Miku, but it's only going to get worse from here. That's just the nature of the story. The hell with the story. Now, that's not nice. We need the story. Or rather, it's not something that you can run from. You're nothing more than a character in it, just like me. There's no doubt about it now. Laura is a reborn, just like Claire. Her gaze suddenly turns cold, and I feel nervous sweat dripping down my back. Oh no, not yet. There's still time. I have to tell her how I feel. I'm not just a character. I'm a living being, and I don't care about the game. I have free will, and I can choose my path in life. This story is nothing to hell with the story. The more scared I feel, the louder my voice gets. She suddenly reaches forward, placing her index finger against my lips, shutting me up. With a giggle, she tells me to keep my voice down. The coldness in that finger causes my eyes to widen in shock. I'm sorry. I just want to get this over with as quickly as possible. I want to see the ending you see. It'll be okay. You might have to deal with a lot of pain, but you won't die, I promise. Suddenly, butterfly wings seem to unfold from her back, spreading out to either side of her. That's right, she mentioned she's a sound butterfly. Fine dust begins drifting through the air from her wings, sparkling in the light. It's so beautiful. It takes my breath away. They almost look like scales. They're gorgeous. As I watch in awe, Laura creeps closer, wrapping her arms around me. Then she whispers in my ear, "Listen well, Miku. Go into the forest by yourself. For no reason in particular, just don't come back. Stay in the forest until tomorrow. Got it?" I understand. My head feels so fuzzy that it's hard to think straight. What's wrong with me? Oh, right. The forest. I have to go to the forest. Right now, I stand up and immediately walk out the door. What? After explaining the situation to Macro, I was suddenly overcome by a very bad feeling. Noticing something was off. He asked what was wrong. Honestly, I've been having this feeling for a while now, as if something very bad is about to happen. When strong people like you have a hunch, they're usually right. Something probably is about to happen. I've been having that bad feeling ever since you got here. I don't like it. I wish my hunches weren't always right, but if Macro's feeling the same way, then there must be some truth to it. That he caught on quickly means I can head back to Miku without wasting too much time. Extra time. I'm worried about her. At any rate, Angela should be back soon, so let's all get together in the dining room. We'll let Laura come to us when she's ready. Sounds good. In agreement on what to do next, the two of us head back to the dining room. I know Miku might feel uncomfortable being in the same room as him, but she'll just have to deal with it. Meanwhile, Macro looks the same as always. I wish he'd at least gotten a little upset after dealing with what Miku's dealing with right now. Don't tell me he's not interested in her? No, that's impossible. He's just the type of guy who's impossible to read. That has to be it. Upon arriving in the dining room, we notice that there's already someone there. When did they get here? It's Angela sneaking in without anyone noticing. It's probably a habit she picked up through her line of work. I didn't realize you were back yet. Welcome home. Well, well, Claire and Macro, hey there. She seems to have already entered post-work relaxation mode, leaning back comfortably in a chair while sipping a glass of water. Huh? I told Miku to make some tea. A chill races up my spine. My tail puffs straight up. She's not here. Miku? Where's Miku? Miku, she wasn't here when I got back. This is the worst way to get such a terrifying premonition. Macro and I exchanged glances upon hearing that. Then what about Laura? Where is she? Hold on, just calm down, Claire. I'm sure she's in her room. Or at least, that's the impression I get. But Miku's not here. What do you mean, she's not here? My heart's pounding frantically. What's going on? I was only gone for a few moments. No, I can't let myself panic. I need to calm down. I squeeze my eyes shut before slowly opening. She wasn't planning on going out somewhere? No! She had no other plans taking her out of the house for the rest of the day. Besides, she just promised she wouldn't go out anywhere by herself. Angela, who must have realized something weird was going on, straightens up in her seat while scanning her surroundings with a sharp eye. She's taking a calm approach to the problem. I should follow her example and not let my emotions run away from me. Though right now, all I feel like doing is screaming at the top of my lungs. She's not the type of girl who goes around breaking promises. I went to talk to Macro about something and was only gone for a few moments. There's no way she would have slipped out for no reason. Something happened. I feel confident enough, despite the lack of evidence. Squeezing my hands into fists, I'm about to head out in an attempt to track her down when Angela stops me. Claire, you need to calm down. I'll go out and see if I can find her, okay? But you just got back. What are you babbling about? This is an emergency, right? And tracking down missing people is my specialty. Leave it to me. Angela, thank you. She immediately runs out of the guild, promising to get in touch with us using the magic devices Kiefer made for us as soon as she found Miku. Angela's always so helpful. Okay, time to figure out what we can do to find her from here. Just as the thought crosses my mind, I hear surprised voices coming from the front door. It sounds like Rini and Hector. Hey, you guys, what's all the commotion? Rini's here to save the day. Rini, you idiot. Clearly something's wrong based on how Angela looked rushing out of here. Macro, Claire, what's happened? Having managed to come back at the perfect time, the two rush into the dining room to meet us. Great, now we can work together to find Miku. I briefly tell the guys about the situation we're dealing with. Also, Hector? Miku told me a little bit about what's going on, and I told Macro. Angela left before I could say anything to her, though. I see, that's good enough for now. I already filled Kiefer, Candace, and Rini in. I have no idea when Laura will show up again, but I decide to throw caution to the wind by dropping that piece of information. Hector is quickly able to guess what I'm talking about from just that. Not that I'm surprised. Now then, let's think about this rationally. Why would Miku suddenly take off? I feel like I'm missing some important piece of the puzzle. Or story, perhaps. Yes, that has to be it. The reason why I've had this bad feeling for so long. Everything bad has happened has been directly connected to the main storyline. We can, by all means, go around without a plan, but I have a hunch there's something going on here. Yeah, I feel the same way. Hector, who knows the plot as well as I do, seems to be in agreement, which leaves us with the question of which plot are we working off of? This is a cutscene from the game. You don't recognize it? A cheerful voice suddenly cuts us off. The fur on my tail puffs out, and I whirl around to confront the owner of the voice. I glance over and see Hector is likewise ready to start a fight. Laura? You're scaring me, you guys. The way you're looking at me makes me think you want to kill me. She sounds pretty amused for someone who's apparently terrified. What's wrong with her? As she approaches us, she begins speaking while glancing between Hector and myself. So, you're wondering which route the heroine myself has decided on? The game is fast approaching its conclusion, you know. And the climax usually involves the heroine getting out of a sticky situation. Or did you forget that? Hector? Claire? There's no doubt about it. Laura's a reborn. That's fine, I expected as much. But how did she know me and Hector are the same? I've never been this scared in my life. Meanwhile, Hector continues glaring at Laura, his defenses on high alert. Can't change the story, you know. You're stuck in a plot with the plot the way it is, all the way up until the end. She suddenly turns dead serious. We can't change the story. Don't be silly. I've done everything I can up until now to do exactly that, and I won't let Laura run away with it, have her way if I can help it. I have no idea how familiar you two are with the game, but regardless, you're no match for me. What? Just because she's the heroine, and that the heroine always gets what she wants, don't be ridiculous. But what she says next catches me completely off guard. Because I'm the one who wrote it. I made this world. For all intents and purposes, I'm God. What? That look on her face, her smile, nothing more than a perfectly curved half circle with no reflection of mirth in her eyes, is nothing like the Laura I know. She looks more like your stereotypical final boss in your average run-of-the-mill RPG. What are you guys talking about? All this stuff about stories and gods? It's like you've all lost your minds at the same time. Rini ends up breaking the silence between us. Seeing him standing there with his arms crossed, his usual expression of total incomprehension on his face causes me to giggle. You and Macro must be completely lost, huh? Which makes sense. I have no idea what that means, but I can tell you're making fun of me. His remark doesn't seem to have any effect on Laura, though. The way she seems to look down on him rubs me the wrong way. I'm personally grateful Rinny's here right now, though he probably could have picked a better time to interject. Still, if what Laura says is right, then we're in big trouble. But I don't fully understand what she means. Is she implying that she's played the game so many times that her knowledge is comparable to that of a god? Or that she really is a god? No, that makes even less sense than before. There's no god in the original story. Rini, Macro, I've told you about this before, since we were kids in fact, that this world we live in is part of a game. You never believed me though. Hector speaks to his friends without taking his eyes off Laura. I told you I was telling the truth. The tone in his voice makes it sound like Rini and Macro wrote off Hector's ramblings as nothing more than fantastical ramblings. Meanwhile, Miku believed everything I said right from the start. Huh? Everything you said was true? Come on. There's no way you can expect us to believe that. Even now, they're finding it hard to swallow, which makes sense. And under normal circumstances, it wouldn't be that weird for them to get upset about being fed what sounds like a bunch of outrageous lies. But we can't move forward without them believing us. So I guess it's up to me. I'll put aside my feelings to help him out. Rini, he's telling the truth. I also have memories from my past life. I know about the game too. Everything he said was true? Macro mutters quietly under his breath. It's easy to ignore something as ridiculous if only one person says it, but it's much harder with another person backing them up, giving their words weight. Faced with the current situation, Rini and Macro find themselves starting to believe what we've been telling them. It'll be close to impossible to make them believe everything, but this is good enough for now. Why didn't you believe me when I said it? You know what? It doesn't matter. As long as you're on board, we can keep going. I understand why he's upset, but maybe this isn't the best time to start yelling at your friends. Meanwhile, Laura's simply standing there with the relaxed smile on her face, almost like she's waiting for us to finish our conversation. I can't figure her out at all. And that she looks so laid back and unconcerned is freaking me out. So, all we have to do is get Laura then, huh? Ha ha ha! You're so dumb, Rini. I made you up myself, and yet I'm still blown away by the idiotic things you say sometimes. Hearing Rini's suggestion, Laura immediately loses it, literally doubled over with laughter. But that doesn't matter. What was that she said about making Rinny herself? And if that's true, then that would make her. The moment my mouth snaps shut, the amusement on Laura's face instantly vanishes, causing all of us to tense up once more. You can try to catch me all you want, but there are better ways to spend what little time you have left. What's that supposed to mean? You said yourself a moment ago, Hector, about the cutscene. We can figure this all out later. We need to make sure Miku's okay first. Laura dropping hints is one thing, but we can't make a move until we figure out which story we're following first. Think hard. Let's see. If we pick Macro's route, then that means the cinematic plot point is I suddenly turn pale when I realize it can't be. Miku gets attacked by a monster. Huh? What are you talking about? Rinny raises an eyebrow in my direction out of confused frustration, but I'm too overwhelmed to answer. That's right. Near the end of Macro's route, the heroine is attacked by a monster in the forest. After finding out Laura, the heroine, has gone into the woods by herself, Macro rushes over, managing to save her in the nick of time. This immediately leads to the confession scene where he realizes he loves her. Or at least, that's what happens in the good ending. If you don't make it in time, the monster kills her, leading to the bad ending. I can feel sweat trickling down my back at the thought. But the person who gets attacked is the heroine, which should be you, Laura. Hector accuses, pointing at Laura. He's right. Not time to panic just yet. The heroine is the one who gets attacked in the original scenario, meaning Miku shouldn't be in danger, plus she'd never wander into the forest by herself. It's just one implausible scenario after another. I never really intended to become the heroine, you know. In fact, I never wanted that role, which is why I did what I did. She spreads her wings while she speaks. They're beautiful black butterfly wings, the same color as her hair, and covered in glittering scales. Ugh, looking at it is making my head feel fuzzy. Those scales must have some kind of mind control effect. Mind control! Wait a second. That the kidnappers were being controlled by a mysterious third party randomly flashes through my head. I relinquished the title of heroine to Miku. Hector and the others must have come to the same conclusion as soon as they saw the scales. In other words, they figured out that Laura was the mastermind behind Miku's original kidnapping. Everyone, including myself, covers their mouths with their arms to try and avoid inhaling the scales fluttering from her wings. There's a piercing look of concentration in their eyes as they all go pale. I'm sure I look just as bad as they do. You forced Miku to go into the woods, didn't you? So she could get attacked by that monster. Before I can finish talking, Macro runs out of the room. Wait, what? I've seen this exact scene before. I know this isn't the time or place, yet I can't stop my mind from replaying the cutscene in horrifying detail. And yet it's the motivation I need to get moving. Yep. It's pretty much neat seeing the heroic rescue scene play out right in front of you. Though in this case, Miku's the heroine, not me. What's wrong with you? Are you sure you shouldn't follow him? After all, in the original story, she's right. In the original story, everyone goes with Macro in order to save the heroine. Though it's only Macro who saves her in the nick of time. And when I say a hair's breadth away from death, I'm not exaggerating. In the context of the game, it's exciting, but I don't want to experience that sort of excitement in real life, especially when there's a chance we might not make it in time. Getting a bad ending, with the implication being you die for real, is no joke. We quickly chase after Macro, who's heading in the direction of the nearby forest. For some reason, Laura joins us. What's her problem? Why aren't you getting in touch with the other guild members? The story won't work without them. Cackling gleefully, she keeps offering advice on what we should do next. I know already. I want to change the story, but I have to follow it for now if I don't want to put Miku in further danger. This is so frustrating. Shut up. All you keep talking about is the story this and the story that. I don't care about your freaking story. Just as I'm about to give Laura a piece of my mind, Macro beats me to it. He shouts back from the head of the pack, more audibly upset than I've ever heard him before. No way. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever seen Macro get angry even once in the game. Seeing Hector and Rinny's eyes widen in surprise, I guess this is a first for them too. I'm going to save Miku, and I'm doing so of my own free will. He shouts before speeding up. You're going too fast. It doesn't seem to matter to Rini, who's always bragging about how fast he is, but I'm quickly left behind, and moments later they disappear from view. I know how dire this situation is, but part of me is relieved that Macro is taking this so seriously. Because I'm finally feeling hopeful for the first time, maybe Macro and Miku really will end up together. The way things are going, it's very possible. There's a high chance that Miku, as the heroine, will get her happy ending. I know I shouldn't get my hopes up, but I can't help it. One second. Miku's perspective. The sun is setting and the forest is getting dark. Huh? What am I doing here? I had to come here alone for some reason, which is why I literally flew here. But why? I have no reason to be here. Gosh, I have no idea. My head feels all fuzzy. At any rate, I guess I'll just keep going. Maybe I'll figure it out as I go. There's too many trees in the forest, making it difficult to fly. It might be easier if I walk. With that decided, I fold my wings of light, land on the ground, and head deeper and deeper into the forest, which grows darker and darker. I have to spend the night here, right? It's kind of scary. It's dark and I'm scared of being here by myself. Did I really have something I needed to do out here? I can feel the presence of some vague memory, but it leaves me feeling nervous and uncomfortable. If only I could remember something. Once I'm in pretty deep in the woods, alarm bells start going off in my head and I stop. I shouldn't go any further. It's dangerous. Wait, why is it dangerous? My head hurts and I press my hand against my forehead. Should I go back? Am I allowed to leave the forest? My instincts are screaming at me that it's dangerous to go any further, but the moment I turn to head back, I feel something seething with murderous rage running straight at me, and I dive to the side, panicked. Oh no. I hear the rustling of grass before a loud roaring sound echoes through the trees, like something being torn apart. Startled, I fall backwards onto my butt, only to see a large monster plunge its claws into the trunk of a tree before ripping it to shreds. If I hadn't jumped aside when I did, those claws would be tearing my body apart instead of the poor tree. The moment I realize that, a chill races through my entire body. I haven't seen a monster this large aside from that horde of monsters attacked our village. This is certainly the first time I've seen one up this close, and my legs are shaking too hard for me to stand back up. Though, if it wasn't for all those intense training sessions Claire made me do since we were kids, I wouldn't have been able to instinctively dodge as well as I did. Good job, me. Wait, this isn't the time for a pat on the back. The fog on my head is clearing up. I was tricked into coming here. But by who? I know the answer to that. Laura did it. It all started when I inhaled those scales fluttering from Laura's wings. But why did she do it? Even young kids know the forest is full of dangerous monsters. It's especially dangerous at night. So why would she make me go into the forest by myself? Coming to a place like this without any idea of where I am or what I'm doing here is a recipe for disaster. No matter how many lives I might have, does Laura really hate me that much because I like the same guy she does? I'm sad at first. I guess she really did betray us, huh? No, I can't let myself think that way. I still believe she's a good person until I hear her say otherwise. I promised myself I would always trust her. I won't cry, and I'll still believe in Laura until the very end. I smack myself as hard as possible on the leg, somehow managing to squash my fear. I have to figure out a way to deal with this situation. The monsters will get me for sure if I just sit here, too scared to move. Hey there, Arianova. We are doing a reading stream. This is a novel called Surviving in Another World as a Villainous Fox Girl. We're on the second book. And really, we're gonna finish this book up tonight, the series up tonight. But it is an otome style uh, light novel from like Japan and translated, and it's most of those can get a little like heavy. This one is like the cutest, most wholesome otome novel you've ever seen, and it involves fox girls as the main characters. And it is let me see who's the author. Let me see. We've got. Oh, I can just paid bookmark. There it is. All right, that'll be a good bookmark. Now, if I go back to, nope. Yeah, there it is. No. Okay, but there. Ria I. I got this on Amazon. So, let me see. Try that. That is the first book of the two. You should be able to find the second one. Welcome in Flavors R Us, aka Onyx Fury. We are doing my favorite reading streams again. We're halfway through the stream. Things are heating up. So right now I'm on the 7th chapter. And I'm about halfway through that. So I do have the rest of the streams on my YouTube at SnackleFox on YouTube. Or were you asking for the other book? Yeah, it's really, really cute. There's my YouTube channel, by the way. Did I say you boob? That would be funny. Not completely out of character. Recap, by the way. Alright. Recap, by the way, Onyx. You did, okay. We are now in chapter 8. Rival heroine, rival lover Laura has arrived on the scene and is an absolute troublemaker. I do not know anywhere else you can find this. You'll have to look it up for yourself. I was looking for ebooks or something, and I found this. And I love Fox Girls. And if the right romance with the right characters is there, I will love it and I will read it as the best thing. But most romances are not for me. This one is for me, and I've been loving it. I have a couple other anime romances that I like, but it's pretty rare. So I do not know anything about this outside of Amazon. It seems like this one was somebody's first project, and they just really, really wanted to write something really cute. Because this is like the most wholesome, the most cute otome novel out there. This is like It's kind of like what was it? The book girl who wants to start up a library in another world, that type of series. Just like she wants to make friends. There's hardly any violence. She like freezes at the thought of any trouble between her friends. All right, we'll keep on reading. Uh Getting back to yes, completely innocent. If Flavors R Us ever tells me that they're a Fox girl in my chat, I'm gonna get a little suspicious, but they're also innocent, so I should trust them. If I hadn't jumped aside, let me see, are we if I hadn't jumped aside when I did, those claws would be tearing my body apart instead of the poor tree. The moment I realized that, a chill races through my entire body. I haven't seen a monster this large from when the. Oh, I read that. Yes. I need to tell Macro how I feel. I ran away from him without telling him how I truly felt, and yet there's no way I'm going to let things end like this. If I'm going to die anyway, I want it to be from the curse, no matter how painful that might be. So Miku, main character, has a curse on her that she can only ever love one person. You better check again about what species you are or whether you're innocent. And if she ever loves somebody else, or if that person can't return her love, if they fall in love with somebody else, it breaks your heart so hard that the gods smite her and she dies. And she comes constantly in danger of being smited. Oh, species. Yes. She comes constantly in danger of being smited for the last couple of chapters as she feels her chest burning from awkward love feelings. And right now they're placed on Macro, who is kind of like a twinkish looking dwarf. Are you asking me, Arianova, or Flavors? All right, next page anyway. Uh, I mean, I commissioned Alba Dusk for my model. He was known as a kind of low cost modeler, and I love foxes, so of course I was going with a fox boy. Uh, he was out of the business for a bit, and I think he comes back into it when he needs money to afford like medical bills and stuff. But oh, for me, yeah, I am an adventurer. This is kind of like a bomber jacket. Before this, I did like work for the military in my world, where we were fighting a war against like food zombies, and I was part of the squad at the end, at least, helping target and arm their bombers. But before that, I was a toaster. I like wandered around like the brave little toaster with an adventure team trying to solve it like on the ground. And really, while I was in the bombers, I was a toaster as well, and I had like enough computing power to do all the management stuff while I was hooked in like through a bunch of USB cables and stuff. And then for like my help and stuff, part of the deal was that they were like, "Yeah, you can have a real body now. You don't have to be a toaster any longer." I had a real body before that, but like accidents and stuff, I like was messing around trying to get the toast out and electrocuted myself, and that captured my soul into the toaster. So, kind of being a little silly, I paid for it, and then for like 10 years, I wandered around fighting food zombies as a toaster as part of like an anime style adventure team. Yeah. Uh, Snackle Fox on Twitter. One warning, if anybody is trying to solicit commissions to me from DMs, just please don't do that. If you're coming to DMs, no talking about commissions. All right, here is the tweet to the current stream. And yeah, definitely willing. You're welcome to. You were asking to make lore for my model. I am cool with like people adding on lore to the world. It is a little bit defined already. If I did more lore, I'd probably do another model. And I'm not ready for that yet. All right. With a low growl, the monster focuses on me. Oh, I don't know what you're talking about then. Well, feel free to explain it more. A lore video. Okay. Well, that sounds expensive. But yeah, I guess I guess at least like show me what you're talking about. Yeah. That just sounds expensive. I don't think I'm invested enough to go out and looking for like a lore video yet. Please post any commission stuff publicly and not in DMs. I like to have all of the commission information be posted publicly when I go to people. Both the profile, both the pricing information and the portfolio need to be public. With a low growl, the monster focuses on me. It seems to have made up its mind while I was standing there, wasting time. Gosh, I'm so slow, even at the worst of times. But I refuse to give up. Just host it on, like, YouTube or a file sharing site, like Imgur. Yeah, so just post it to your timeline. There are a lot of artists do that. And if you're posting videos, just post those to the timeline as well. And then if you want to like DM me the post, that's fine. But I want the posts themselves to be public. And in that case, it should be easy for her to find me. I have to give her a sign. Right. Like when I was kidnapped. Rah. I let out a brightest flash of light I can muster. The forest is so dark that it'd be impossible for anybody not to notice. It's so dazzling that it temporarily blinds the monster, distracting it. The monster stumbles back in surprise, and I immediately take off running. Yes, this is good. Legs don't fail me now. I try to think to myself as I try putting distance between myself and the beast. I just need to get to a spot where the trees start to thin out. But I can't get too close to town either. The light I'm emitting is so bright that it will attract monsters from all over. I don't want to put the town in danger. I'm scared. I can tell the monster is right behind me. All I want to do is soar high up into the sky, but the trees are so thick that my wings will only end up caught in the branches. Worst case scenario, I'll fall and that'll be the end of me. If I can just find some sort of clearing, I can escape into the sky. There's no one nearby, so it'll be some time before help can reach me. I know someone's coming for me, but I'm not sure how long it'll take. All I want to do right now is burst into tears. Miku! I hear someone call my name. I glance around in panic, my ears twitching this way and that, but I don't see anyone. Still, I could have sworn I heard a voice. Miku! This time I heard it more clearly. I desperately try to find the owner of the voice. There's no mistake. I recognize that voice anywhere. It's Macro! I know for sure that voice belongs to Macro. It's absolutely Macro's voice. Tears start rolling down my cheeks. He came to save me. The moment that voice I was hoping to hear more than any other reaches my ears, I let my guard down completely. It's the one thing I shouldn't have done under any circumstances, and especially in the middle of the fight, letting one's guard down equals death. I did it anyway, which is exactly why I was hit by a surprise attack from right in front of me. I'm not really sure what happened, but whatever the monster did, it sends me flying. I slam into the trunk of a large tree with a large wham before slumping down to the ground. What's going on? Alright, I should be dead right now, but even more miraculously, I'm not even in any pain, despite flying through the air and smashing into a tree. Does that mean I'm dead? Hold on a minute. That can't be true. Just calm down. My magic light might have switched off automatically due to the impact of my body hitting the tree, but I know I'm still alive. I slowly sit up before patting my face, checking to make sure I'm still in one piece. There's no pain anywhere, but even after being thrown that large distance. But that's when I finally notice I'm surrounded by a shield of some sort. Is this protection magic? But how? Who casts this spell? As I try to sense where the caster is, I realize it's coming from the pocket of my skirt. I reach into my pocket. There's something in there. A magic stone. It seems to be some kind of word, but when did I get this? I have no idea, but there's no denying that it literally saved my life, and it still has a lot of magic left inside. It's small enough that it can only cast a spell of protection over who's ever wearing it, but it's exactly what happened when the monster sent me flying. I don't think I can get hurt while it's switched on, but I'm also not sure how long it'll last. The first step is to stand back up. Just as I'm about to, I realize my legs are way too wobbly to hold my weight. I don't think I can do it. This can't be happening. But to be fair, I was really scared. I thought I was dead. What do I do? Should I try and fight the monster while relying on the stone's power to protect me? On the verge of giving up, a shadowy figure races over past me with tremendous speed. I watch as the figure runs up to the monster before punching it square in the face, sending it flying. The blow is so powerful that it completely knocks the monster out. Macro! Miku? I cry out faintly to the powerful presence so much bigger than his actual size, and he whirls around. He immediately rushes over to me, clearly upset. Just as soon as he notices the magical barrier surrounding my body, he heaves a huge sigh of relief before dropping to his knees. I thought I was too late, he murmurs, his voice trailing off into silence as he hangs his head. I can tell he was really worried about me. I notice he's shaking. He's such a sweet guy. I take his hand in mine, squeezing it tightly. Ha ha ha! My hand's shaking too, but I can't let that stop me this time. I'm really sorry for worrying about you, but I'm really happy you came. Whack! Before I finish thanking him, Macro pulls me into his arms. He's hugging me so tightly, I'm having trouble breathing, but I let him do so without complaint, understanding how clearly worried he was about me. You really are going to give me a heart attack at this rate. I'm sorry. I'm glad you're okay. Me too. Me too. Thank you, Macro. I can feel the tension drain from his shoulders. Having wrapped his arms around me like this feels so comforting. I wish we could stay like this forever. A part of me knows that the only place I ever feel safe like this is in his arms. I don't ever want to lose you, Miku, he murmurs quietly as he clings to me, his eyes closed. But more than that, I don't want you to get hurt. Me neither, and I don't want you to suffer. I was so scared. When I saw you flying through the air like that, I thought you were dead for sure. I felt so helpless. Don't leave me, please. That last line, sounding so much like a spoiled kid, throws me for a loop. It's unusual for the always cool and collected Macro to talk this much. Overwhelmed with love for him, I realized that despite not being the ideal spot for a confession, I can't hold it any longer. Smile for me. Huh? He suddenly releases me from his embrace before holding my shoulders in both hands and looking me deep into my eyes. They shine with such earnestness that I can't look away. I want that smile of yours by my side forever. Without you, there's no point in living. What does he mean? Don't tell me Ah, don't tell me that he's... I feel my face flush with heat. I stare at Macro in disbelief. You really want to be with me? Yes, and only you. I'm closer than anyone else? Yes, the closest. For forever? Yes, forever. I want to be with you for the rest of my life. He answers each question I timidly throw his way, and after digesting every word, I found myself so overwhelmed with emotion that I burst into tears. Is this what happiness feels like? Macro! Macro! I can't seem to speak under the onslaught of emotions that have been building up inside of me, but more than anything, I am filled with pure joy from hearing my favorite person in the world say they want to be with me forever. I find myself adoring those kind eyes and sweet voice more than ever. I love you, Sniffle. I love you so much. Macro, I do too. Wah! Wah! As I burst into tears like a baby, Macro wraps his hands around me once more. He's gentler this time, even though there's still a feeling of power in his embrace. Everything's okay now. I'll always protect you from curses or anyone who tries to get you, because you mean so much to me and I love you. I was finally able to tell him how I felt, and it turned out that he shared those feelings. Can miracles exist like this in real life? Is this really happening? Am I allowed to feel this happy? This should be a joyful moment, and I'm yet sobbing so hard that I'm sure I look awful. Macro continues hugging me regardless, as if waiting patiently for me to calm down. You're so cute, Miku. Mm-hmm. He keeps raining kisses down on my forehead and cheeks. I'm so embarrassed that my face feels as hot as one of Claire's foxfire attacks, and yet I'm so very happy. All I want is to be wrapped in Macro's warmth forever and ever. Break it up, you two. I guess it's about time for some serious spoilers, huh? The sound of that unmistakably cheerful voice causes Macro to immediately tense up. Huh? What's going on? Is that Laura? You really can't read the room, can you? No, actually, I kind of appreciate it. Hehehe. You're welcome, Hector. And Claire and Hector and Rini too? And Angela and Candace are right there, behind them? Wait a minute. What are the Lana Killer Guild members doing here? It's rude to watch. Ha ha ha, we didn't mean to. You guys started getting all lovey-dovey right in front of us. Everyone saw that. Oh gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I want to crawl into a hole and disappear. I won't try to pull away from Macro, but he only tightens his grip on me, pulling me closer. Beep! What are you guys doing here? You didn't all have to come. With his arms wrapped around me so protectively, Macro asks in his usually completely emotionless voice. Meanwhile, I'm over here on the verge of panicking. How does he always stay so calm? I'm glad you asked, Macro. I was worried we wouldn't have time to get everyone from the guild together. I'm not sure if it would make much of a difference toward the outcome of the story, but I didn't want any regrets if Miku met an unfortunate fate. I'm really starting to hate this stupid story, though I understand wanting everyone to be together for the ending. I see. So, in other words, this forest is the setting for a scene in the game, right? I ask, and both Claire and Hector nod. Claire then goes on to explain how, in the happy ending, everyone in the guild shows up in the forest together. She made sure everyone made it here to ensure my safety. She was worried that if someone went missing, it would mess with the story, or in other words, lead to the bad ending, and she didn't want anything to happen to me. Did you forget about something? Before we get to your happy ending, you still have a big problem to solve. Right, like, who put you in charge, Laura? Is there some kind of spoiler you can tell us to convince us you're telling the truth? Oh, that's right. There's no doubt in my mind that Laura made me go to the forest. I want to believe otherwise, but there's no denying the facts. In the blink of an eye, everyone gathered around me in a protective huddle, all glaring angrily at Laura. I'm grateful that they care about me so much, and they have every right to be angry, but maybe tone it down a little, just a little, okay? I'm not sure there's anything I can tell you that you'll believe, but there's no reason to get me, considering I didn't do anything wrong. Are you serious? You're the one who put Miku in danger by making her come here. Despite the wave of hostility directed at her, Lara remains cool as always. She doesn't even flinch when Rinny lashes out at her. She's so strong. But after hearing Hector's words, she raises both hands placatingly in front of her, as if in surrender. Don't worry. I have no plans of doing anything else. It's all over. And with that, a look of relief crosses her face as she smiles. It's a look that's not innocent, and not sexy either, but one full of compassion, and for some reason, I can't seem to look away. You only thought about yourself this entire time. Why should we trust you now? But no one else seems to feel the same way I do. Claire seems especially angry, clearly about to start something as I realize she's surrounded by several balls of foxfire. Wait! Calm down, realizing what a bad spot she's in. Laura raises both arms higher as she starts to panic. Wait, this is no joke. Butterflies are weak to fire. Very, very weak. Let me talk. I promise I'll explain everything. I have no fighting abilities to begin with, so if you wanted to catch me, it wouldn't be very hard, she adds. Even if she was strong, she'd have no chance of escaping while being surrounded by this many people. Hearing how truly desperate she is causes everyone to calm down somewhat. Claire's foxfires vanish, thank goodness. You can tell us your story, but only if you let us tie you up first. If it'll make you feel any better, I have no intention of resisting. Oh, actually, if you're worried, why not cast some kind of restraint spell? That will keep the scales from flying off my wings. I guess even Laura realizes no one will believe her no matter what she says. Hector nods before placing a magical device around Laura's neck and tying both of her hands together. It's clear that she really does have no intention of resisting by the way she simply stands there allowing him to do so. I have no idea if there are any monsters lurking nearby, and Miku needs a rest after that ordeal. So let us head back to the guild for now. After everyone agrees with Hector's suggestion, and we start heading in the direction of home. However, I'm sorry, Macro. Still unable to stand, Macro ends up carrying me on his back. I am so embarrassed. He seems completely unfazed, but I'm so self-conscious that my cheeks are bright red. I can't stand it. She's so cute. Of course she is, Hector. My Miku is an angel after all. That everyone is still looking at me so kindly is only making it worse. That Hector comments on my cuteness, and Claire calls me an angel without a second thought. Don't get any ideas, Hector. Miku's mine. Stop pouring salt in the wound, Macro. I can't believe Macro said something like that. He called me his. I'm such a mess of emotions. All I can do is bury my face against his back. Brrr, I'm so happy. Once we get back to the guild, we all gather into the dining room. Laura sits in a chair farthest from the door, with Hector and Claire to either side. Rainy stands next to her. Macro and I are sitting across from her, with Angela standing behind us. This feels like a pretty ironclad defense. We told you we don't want you getting away. I already told you I'm not going to run, especially with my magic under lock and key. Claire chuckles in exasperation, causing Rainy to snort in disgust. To be honest, I think they've gone a little overboard, but I understand how they feel. I'm glad that Laura doesn't seem to mind, though I feel bad for her. So, hurry up and spit it out. Hector snaps as soon as everyone else has settled down on the nearby couch. Okay, Laura responds, and she begins talking, her bound hands clasped tightly on top of the table in front of her. It's kind of long, unfortunately, and I'm going off the assumption you know I'm reborn and what that means. If you don't, well, tough luck. Those who seemed surprised by Laura's use of the word reborn included everyone who didn't know anything about the game or the story within it. To be fair, it would take a while to explain. First, you need to convince them that a fantastical story is actually true. Kiefer is the first to break the awkward silence. Reborn? Did you really just say what I think you did? Wow, amazing. I didn't realize people like you actually existed. Hey, do you have memories of your own death? How much do you remember of your previous life? Kiefer, shush. This isn't the time for any of that. Ha ha ha. Can't fault a guy for asking. I'm a curious guy by my nature. Hey, welcome in, Prince Oshi. I am this is on Kick, by the way. Somebody joined there. I am reading a light novel called Surviving in Another World as a Villainous Fox Girl. It's really cute. It's an Otome style isekai novel, and we're getting to the end of the last book. So we have about 1.5 chapters left. But thank you for coming in. And by the way, I am Walter Snackle Fox. I am a Fox Boy VTuber who fought in a war against food zombies years ago. As a gift for helping that fight, they actually gave me this VTuber model. And they said, hey, you can start streaming. But besides that, I'm also a programmer, adventurer, and I like food and board games and stuff like that too. On with the show. All right, so Kiefer seems just as laid back about this as Laura does. I cringe naturally, but Laura simply turns her benevolent gaze on him. Her eyes seem so kind. I know Laura didn't do anything bad. That's how I feel, at least. Gosh, what does it matter? Not like I don't understand what's going on anyway. But I'm great at figuring out things on the fly, so get on with it already. I agree with her. I'll come to my own conclusion and ask for more information later if need be. I should also be able to make a suitable decision based on the facts presented. Me too. Wow. Of course Kiefer wants to know every single detail of what's going on, but I'm impressed by how flexible everyone is. Ha ha ha. I figured as much. You guys are making me all emotional. It's weird seeing characters you created acting with their own free will. Laura smiles happily, waiting for after everyone's answer. She looks like she's about to cry, and I find myself piping up in response. Tell us what you need to, Laura. Miku! Angela calls my name, worried, but I smile back at her. Don't look so worried, guys. I promise I'm not hurt at all. I smile at Macro, who seems the most worried at everyone here, before turning back to Laura once more. You always had us in mind with the decisions you made, right, Laura? That's how I feel, at least, I ask with a smile, only to be met with a chorus of groans from around the room. Wait, why are they reacting like that? Why do they sound annoyed? I see Claire bury her face in her hands before looking up at the ceiling. Oh gosh, Miku, you're too angelic sometimes. I know this is how you are, but this is really pushing it. Everyone's nodding in agreement. Uh-oh. Does that mean they all disagree with me? It's kind of discouraging, but it's not like I'm blindly believing in her. I have my reasons. But Claire, I really believe there's some kind of misunderstanding here. I mean, Laura has this look in her eyes that she's really kind, almost like how a mom looks at her kids. She's never looked at me with anything resembling hostility, and even now she emits a warmth that's hard to ignore. I know that her words and actions have made people angry, but I also know that she never meant for that to happen. My desperate pleas are met with a lukewarm reception. Huh? No one agrees with me? Come on, I know I'm right. Gosh, I give up. Miku is 100 times more angelic than I ever imagined she was. You're such a soft-hearted and gullible person that you're making your mom worried about you. Laura shoots me a troubled look. Then she begins speaking, prefacing her story with the words, I'm sure that none of you will believe what I'm about to say, but Miku is right. I want nothing more than for all of you to be happy, because all of you are my creations. So, of course I see you as my children, and all I want is for all of you to have the happiest ending possible. The toothy smile she shows us is less like the innocent Laura I've come to know, and more like that of a close friend. Maybe this is the real Laura? Everyone still seems skeptical, but they at last seem a little less guarded. They must have realized that she doesn't really mean anyone harm. Then that would really mean that you really are. Yes, I wrote the original story for the game, which is how I know this world better than anyone. I'm sorry, but I had to figure out a way for all of us to get together in the end. That's what my boss told me to do. Desperate times call for desperate measures, as they say. I'm still not sure what she means, but based on everything that she's saying, I guess that means she helped create the game that Claire's always talking about. Wait, If that's true, she's really amazing. I glance over to see a mix of emotions on Claire's face, ranging from excitement to frustration, though I'm not sure if it's because of what Laura's saying or something else. I mean, she told me how many times she loved the game. She's probably happy to be standing so close to someone involved with the game's creation, but also annoyed at all the trouble she caused. Hector seems to share her feelings, as he looks just as perplexed. The two of them really are very similar. But before I say anything else, come with me on a slight detour into my past. She chuckles before getting serious once more. Our story. Laura takes us back to the exact moment when she realized she had memories of a previous life. It sounds very similar to Claire's experience, which I guess proved that Laura's a reborn too. I wasn't born with these memories. In fact, I didn't start remembering my previous life until around my 7th birthday. Though as soon as I remembered, I realized that, based on my race and name, I was in the game I'd created. I never thought I'd be reincarnated as the heroine in my own story, she says, laughing. The realization left me distraught, she continues. Huh? Why? I've never seen her act as anything close to hopeless. I never wanted to be the heroine, mainly because there's no way I could ever fall in love with my own creations. I'm not saying that writers who have placed themselves in the protagonist position don't exist, but that's not me. I love my characters, but they're nothing more than my babies set in a miniature world that I made for them. Falling in love with any of them is out of the question. Which is why, she explained, it was her fate, no matter what. She realized it'd probably be better for her to stay in the village instead of leaving and joining the Lana Killer Guild. If she needed to leave for work, she could simply go somewhere else. The whole plan sounds similar to ours. Claire figured I'd stay safe as long as we simply lived out the rest of our lives in our small village. But the story always finds a way to continue in the manner it was designed. There was an incident that led me to realize I couldn't escape fate. The story always finds a way to continue? Oh, I remember hearing someone mention something similar before. It's kind of scary if you think about it. In my case, no matter how hard I tried, I still ended up falling under the effects of my curse. Though the person I ended up loving wasn't who we expected it to be. An incident? I don't remember anything like that in the heroine's past, Claire questions. Well, you see, my village was swallowed up in a sea of flames. I was the sole survivor. What? Our entire group gasped. Laura's entire village was destroyed? A somber silence falls over the room after our outburst as we struggle to digest such a grim past. A village filled with demi-butterflies meant everything, and everyone quickly perished into the flames. We built our houses to withstand fire since we knew our kind was especially weak to it, but against 5 or 6 fire-breathing monsters, it was only a matter of time before everything was engulfed in a sea of flames, Laura says, gazing into the distance. The shelters we'd built to protect ourselves were meaningless in the face of such a destructive force, and my once peaceful life was instantly snatched from me. I shudder in response to her words. The same thing would have happened to our village too if we had been one step slower. I can't believe Laura actually experienced it firsthand. Village destruction happens all over our world. Every village tends to have countermeasures in place for random attacks, but in the face of an entire horde or a natural disaster, it's simply not enough. So why not move to the safety of a big city? You're probably asking. But there's so many people in the city. You might not be able to find a place to live, let alone afford good housing. Besides, certain produce and other goods are often unique to a specific area. Uprooting one's life is never that easy. The scene was pure chaos, as you can imagine. I was so scared that I went into shock over the experience. I was a Japanese adult, pulled into a false sense of security, trapped in the body of a 7-year-old girl. There is no doubt I would have been burnt to a crisp if I'd stayed there. She cradles her hands against her chest as she speaks openly about that horrible incident from her past, as if for comfort. My heart aches for her. I can't imagine how hard it must have been to lose not only your family, but all of your friends and the life you knew once knew all in one blow. It's only thanks to the magic stone I had with me that I'm still alive right now. You see, my mum must have sensed her impending death and gave it to me. It was a small stone, strong enough to protect one person. I was so scared that all I could do was stand there with the stone while my village perished around me. A stone? Oh, I hurriedly reach into my pocket and pull it out. Seeing it in my hand, Laura smiles softly. Yes, that very stone. It protected you too, didn't it? You're the one who gave this to me. Of course. I had no intention of letting you get hurt. I feel bad for putting you in that scary situation, though. I'm sorry. This is a very important object to Laura, a memento of her mom. As she smiles at me apologetically, I feel tears begin to well in my eyes as I realize she was really trying to protect us. Chuckling, she returns to her story once more. That's how I made it out alive, which is how I came to understand that I couldn't go on like this. Because if I acted like the story didn't matter, then I would doom not only myself, but the very characters I'd created, including you, Miku, and after being the one to put the curse on you to begin with. She cries out while burying her face in her hands. Hector and Claire look coldly at the girl, knowing full well what she's talking about. Come on, guys, don't kick someone when they're down. I had to. I mean, what's more heart-rending than watching someone so angelically pure meet such a cruel fate? It's less that I enjoy stuff like that, and more that if I'd known I'd have to experience it in real life, I'd never have written it into a character. Look, we get it already, so calm down. What you enjoy reading or writing is a completely different conversation, but at any rate, I'm sorry, Claire said. Sorry, but also, I know how you feel. What? Don't fall for it, Claire. I'm not sure why, but suddenly everyone's getting excited about this part of the story. Confused, I glance over at Macro, who's sitting next to me, and he looks back. My heart skips a beat when our eyes meet. Arg, am I really going to be happy if this keeps happening every time he looks at me? I get the feeling that Laura's actually harmless. It's obvious just looking at her. Yeah, it seems like everyone is in agreement that Laura isn't out to hurt anyone. As the tension slowly dissolves in the room, I hope that they'll be able to forgive Laura for what she did. Back to what I mentioned earlier, about how the heroine never originally had such a gruesome backstory. Laura gazes off into the distance, not looking at anything. The heroine's backstory was never publicly released, but it's written in my notes. You know what that means, right? Honestly, the moment I realized I was too scared to sleep. So basically, Laura knows more about the story than Claire and Hector do, right? And that even the bonus information that never made it into the game is affecting the world we live in. Claire shudders, rubbing her arms for comfort. So you're saying that this world and the story that controls it includes information that wasn't even made public? It's terrifying. Right. Even scenarios that were rejected from the final product. Not only was the heroine's backstory cut from the game because it had no impact on the game flow, but testers found it too similar to the Fox sisters' backstory. I had no idea that was your backstory. You were forced out of your home to find work elsewhere. I never have guessed Laura had such a dark past behind that bright smile. If I'd have known, I would have been a much bigger fan. Me too. Claire's speaking so fast, it's hard for me to keep up. She gets this way whenever she talks about the game. But wait, aren't we getting off track here? It seems like the Lana Killer Guild members are finally less tense around Laura, or at least on the way to being relaxed. Candace is even making tea. I'm glad that they don't suspect her of being a bad guy anymore, but maybe court with the alcohol wells. We're getting off track again. What I'm telling you is serious, but oh well. I knew that our lives here wouldn't match the original story perfectly, but I still found it hard to view the situation optimistically. As the creator, I wanted nothing more than to make sure everyone was happy. I felt guilty for being the one who cursed you with such a horrible fate. What if it actually happened? I couldn't just stand by without doing something about it. Laura drops her gaze, her hands clasped in front of her chest. Claire always had me to confide in, but Laura was stuck bearing the weight of her secret all by herself her entire life, and everything she did was for us. As I find myself moved to tears, Hector asks a question, still seemingly skeptical. I get that you really feel that way, but is that truly what motivated you? Yes, I never wanted to be Laura the heroine. I was willing to do whatever it took to get the story over with as quickly as possible, which is why I'd figured it would be a win-win situation for me if I could get one of the rival characters to take over my spot as heroine. Why did you have to be the reborn as the heroine? Okay, let's see. Lara never intended on falling in love with anyone, right? Claire asked the group before rambling on. But the story couldn't end without the heroine. In this case, Lara, finding her true love, she decided it'd be easier if she could just have someone else take her spot and follow whatever route would lead to the heroine's happy ending. I guess that someone else ended up being Miku. Claire finished while glancing at me. There's actually a lot more behind the scenes information that we wrote down during the storyboarding stage that never made it to the public. Like, that you can't get to an ending without some kind of conflict. In this case, the rival character is a must. So if you've played the game, I'm sure you're well aware of different routes. Claire's eyes widen in realization as she hears Laura's muttering. So that's what led you to take the role of Miku's rival? Exactly. I was nervous at first since I figured we'd be following Hector's route for sure. But then suddenly we switched to Macro's route, and I wasn't sure if anyone would believe that I could change my mind that quickly. I guess it worked out since young, innocent girls are known for their fickleness, huh? Honestly, I'm pretty proud of my resourcefulness and adaptability. Everyone's glaring at Lara, who's giggling cheerfully. They're no longer guarded around here, but I guess they're pretty angry knowing she tricked them. Kind of want to run from the room in embarrassment. But what was the criminal organization that kidnapped Miku about? You were in cahoots with them, weren't you? Rini asks while glaring at Lara. He's scaring me. My body trembles faintly in response, and as soon as he notices, Macro places his hand on mine to help calm me down. He's so sweet, but that doesn't stop Rini from glaring at Lara. I wasn't in cahoots with them, to use your words. It was just a way to make contact with the Lana Killer Guild. I figure Miku, more than anyone else, would believe me, which is why I had them kidnap her. And because of that, you put her in danger. If I'd actually been some kind of bad guy, you would have been in danger, sure. But Miku was never in any danger whatsoever. She might have been scared, but I was right there with her the entire time, and it's thanks to me that you were able to take down the criminal ring you'd been struggling with for a while now, right? No one got hurt, and the damage was minimal. Honestly, you should be thanking me. Guess she has a point. Everyone gasps in surprise, their eyes wide in shock, but Rini merely grunts in frustration. I understand how he feels. It's a complicated situation. I'm pretty useful, right? I might not be able to fight, but I'm great when it comes to carrying out clandestine tactics. I can manipulate folks like marionettes, eavesdrop, you name it. She giggles gleefully while talking about it, but all of that sounds pretty dangerous. I had no idea Laura was capable of stuff like that. Don't tell me that you've been eavesdropping on us the whole time. Have I? You tell me. Laura dodges Macro's muttered question, refusing to look him in the eyes. Wait, so she was listening in on us the whole time? Hold on. Does that mean that she listened in on that conversation Macro and I had in his room? I'm so embarrassed. Laura, how could you? Even I'm angry now. Seeing how hurt I am, tears shining in my eyes, Laura groans in frustration. Of course she did. That's probably how she figured out Claire and I are reborn, and how she always seemed one step ahead of us. For crying out loud, Kiefer, I'm going to need you to come up with some way for us to eavesdrop on people while also stopping other folks from eavesdropping on us. I should be able to whip something up. With Laura's help, of course. Of course she'll help. It's the least she can do after all the trouble she caused around here. Even Hector's starting to shift from anger to frustration with Laura, though Kiefer's the same as always, somehow amused by what's going on. Candace is glaring furiously at Laura, though I get the feeling she's forgiven her. Laura scratches her cheek with one finger awkwardly, seemingly puzzled. He's right. I'll be happy to help with anything I can, but are you sure you want me to? After I tricked everyone the way I did, I assume you wouldn't want me around. Wait, she's leaving? I assumed that since everyone forgave her, she'd stay with us as a member of the guild, but I guess that's a little overly optimistic. The decision is ultimately in Hector's hands, and everyone turns to look at him. In my opinion, it'd be useful to have her around. What does everyone else think? With everyone's attention focused on him, Hector crosses his arms over his chest before asking the rest of the group what they think. Maybe this will work out after all. Despite how much I really don't like her, there's no denying that we were able to take down that criminal organization thanks to her help, though I hate admitting it. I think her good points outweigh the bad ones, so long as this never happens again. Both Rinny and Macro seem in agreement. It's frustrating that they refuse to forgive her, but at least they recognize what she's capable of. I'm fine with anything so long as it helps further my research. Gosh. It wouldn't hurt if you thought about something other than your gadgets for once. As for me, I don't care. Do whatever you want. Kiefer's answer doesn't surprise me, and I have a feeling Candace doesn't hate Laura as much as she seems to. As long as she promises never to betray the Lana Killer Guild again, then I'm on board. Though, you know what they say, the best way to fool one's enemies is to fool your friends first, in which case, she finally managed to do just that. How valiant, Angela. You're honestly more chivalrous than I imagined when I created you. Angela brings up a good point. Still, it's hard to forgive someone who tricked you. I understand what Laura means by calling Angela valiant and chivalrous. Well, I for one think that it's a great idea. She could be a huge help to the guild. I mean, she even managed to infiltrate Marino's network of information. It's true. How did you like to help me with gathering intel? You'd make a killing with you on board. What, really? With Marino by my side, I feel like we'd uncover every secret in the whole world. The both of you sound way too insidious about this. Don't even think about it. Wells and Marino seem to be in agreement and are far more welcoming than the rest of the group. But Wells is super right about not trying to expose every secret in the world. Seeing Marino and Laura chuckle together almost conspiratorially is terrifying. Abort mission? Which only leaves Claire and myself. Our eyes not meet and we nod in agreement. Claire opens her mouth first. I just need you to promise one thing first. What's that? Claire stares straight into Laura's eyes, her expression serious, and Laura straightens up, matching Claire's demeanor with her own. We're not characters, so stop treating us like we are. I know, you can't help thinking about us that way, but the story's over now, right? It's over, right? There's no side stories, additional notes, or sequels we're not aware of. Her tone, which started off strong, falters near the end. Oh, good point. If there's still part of the story we don't know about, then it's a little too early to let our guard down completely. There's no additional content, The entire story finishes alongside the happy ending. I basically wrapped it up by assuming everyone would go to follow their hopes and dreams. Seems like a pretty great ending to me. Right? I just wanted everyone to live happily ever after, you know? Hearing that is a huge weight off my shoulders. Claire laughs, seemingly equally as relieved. Laura points a finger at herself before continuing. The truth is, I didn't start out seeing everyone only as characters in my story. I only did so in my head. Instead, I see everyone almost like my own children that I creatively speaking gave birth to. However, once I started living the story, I came to see everyone as people with their own individual free will. She suddenly falls silent and turns her gaze on me. Huh? What did I do? At the end of the day, the story I created was nothing more than a guideline, just one of many possible futures. Sometimes things worked out the way I wrote they should, but not even that story can control people's feelings. Laura laughs happily, saying the proof can be seen in the people all around her in this room. She's right. Candace ended up falling in love with Hector, while Claire didn't fall in love with anyone. Also ended up with Macro. Laura might have referred to us as characters and said some pretty mean things too, but at the end of the day, she sees us individuals with their own free will. Hearing that makes me really happy, and I find myself smiling in response. Laura turned out to be a really nice person after all. I'm glad I never stopped believing in her. I'm gonna take a quick break to blow my nose and stuff. 1 second. Oh, not that one. Actually, I'm gonna hit the bathroom. Be right back. All right, chat, we're back. uh, Finishing up the last chapter. Maybe there's a little extra story of surviving in another world as a villainous fox girl. Let me see. I guess that just leaves me then. I met her guys once more, laughing happily. I want Laura to stay with us, of course. I want to get to know everything about her. You're such an angel, Miku. Far more angelic than anything I ever imagined. You're such a sweet girl. I love you so much. Ah! Laura jumps across the table and slides over to me before wrapping her arms around me, which is pretty awkward considering her hands are still tied together. She really startled me, but I guess that's just evidence of how happy she is. Get away from Miku. Give it a rest, Macro. Honestly, I never expected you to be the jealous type. I didn't see it coming. Macro tries to pull me away from Laura, but she refuses to let go, thus starting a very fierce, silent tug of war. There's a lot you don't know, not just about me, but everyone. You're right. I just can't wait to learn all I can. I get the feeling that she really means it. Yep, we're going to be best friends moving forward. Then it's decided. Welcome to Atlantic Killer, Lara. Welcome you in as a friend. Hey there, Lurk. We are doing another one of my reading streams. We are right at the very end of surviving in another world as a villainous fox girl. It's very cute. This is an Otome-style isekai visual novel, meaning, like, the girl falls in love with a bunch of hot guys. Only, like, I'm reading this because I like the girl. She's really cute. And, but the love story seemingly just got all resolved. She fell in love with a dwarf guy who is not the main love interest. And she almost died as things got really weird. But everything turned out very happy because this is, like, the most wholesome book of all time. And nothing actually dangerous would ever happen. Alright. The smile on her face is slightly contorted, as if she is really trying to hold back tears, which also makes it more charming than any of the other smiles I've seen thus far. She's joining us as a friend, huh? Oh, right. Looks like I have a new friend. I know that, moving forward, we'll be able to deal with any problem thrown our way as long as we work together. And I look forward to every day that lies ahead. The hope fills me with joy. So, Claire's perspective. This is really the end, huh? Part of me is relieved, but a part of me is strangely sad as well. I mean, I've been fighting for Miku as hard as possible ever since I realized we were in this world of a game. That I had to save Miku was the only thing that kept me going. Seeing Miku sitting peacefully next to Macro, whose face is bright red, makes me feel so happy and content. Of course, I also feel frustrated, sad, and lonely that Macro is taking her away from me, but other than that, I'm happy to see her get the best ending possible. Don't fall in love, huh? What a joke on my part. She ended up falling in love after all. I was really upset about it at first, but I'm glad it worked out. I think it's because I'm finally okay with the story ending this way. Hey, Claire. You know there's a happy ending for you too, right? Huh? What are you talking about? As I absently-mindedly watch Miku, Lara, who's been untied, sits down next to me and starts talking. Me? Fall in love with someone? That's out of the question. Huh? Are you saying you're just like me? Are you also unable to fall in love with a character from a game? I don't think I'm exactly the same, but something like that. It's far too late for me to change how I view everyone. And who am I going to fall for anyway? Based on what exactly? I've passed the point where I think of everyone as merely characters in a game, and yet I can't erase my background knowledge of them. I told Laura not to treat me like a character, and yet here I am, unable to stop doing that. Which is why I doubt I'll ever be able to find love in this world. I might not be the game's creator like Laura, and I'm pretty sure I could change my point of view if I really tried, but it seems too late for that. I told you before, right? You can't find love without a rival to create conflict. Oh, what are we really talking about? If it's the game, then let me join in. As I continue talking with Laura, Hector wanders over. He seems a little excited, probably due to the topic of conversation. I get it, though. Ever since I realized I had memories of a previous life, all I ever wanted to do was talk about it. Miku is patient enough to listen, which was nice of her, but it feels entirely different to talk to someone who actually understands. And with all of our problems resolved, we can truly geek out. I still dislike him, but I don't want to deprive him of that joy. All I'm saying is the Hector route is primed to start whenever you want to do. Huh? My route? What do you mean? Candace is right here, isn't she? She's the rival for Hector's route. So what? So that's all she'll say. Hector rolls his eyes in annoyance. He wanted to talk about the game, and instead, suddenly we're talking about him. Wait a minute. Hold on. She's talking about Hector's route, right? But we were talking about him right up until now. Is she really hinting at what I think she is? I don't think that it's strange for you to follow that route that'll lead you ending up with Hector, Claire. What? Both Hector and I cry out at the same time? Absolutely not. No way. Why Hector of all people? To be fair, he's the only guy I could see myself with, and that's a big maybe, considering he's the last guy in existence I'd ever want to date. I want a good-looking, superficial, womanizing creep like him. That's harsh, but also, I have no interest in stubborn, strong-willed, violent women like you. What did you call me? You heard what I said. I jumped to my feet, yelling while pointing straight at Hector. I'm so annoyed that my tail is sticking straight up behind me, unwilling to back down. He shouts back, just as loud as me. That's rich coming from a guy whose face is constantly glowing. Huh? But you just said there's no way you could fall in love with one of the game's characters, right? Hector is a reborn like you, making him different from anyone else in our world. I don't think it's that weird that you'd fall for him, right? Her unexpected counter-argument causes me to falter. To be fair, she has a point. He looks like the character, but his soul is some former geek otaku from Japan. I can't rightfully write him off simply as a character because of that, but that doesn't make it okay. I'm not saying I see in him as a character in the game, but thing about being with him is just weird, okay? Plus, if I go with him, then Candace won't get her happy ending that she cares about so much. That's right. He has Candace. If anyone's going to tie the knot with him, it should be her. But both Hector and Laura form X's with their hands while disagreeing vehemently with me. Why? The whole thing with Candace is, well, does it really look like it goes both ways? It doesn't? It seems like love to me. She said as much. She's definitely very clingy, and she's had no problem dropping love bombs between every other word. But it strikes me as the type of reaction a fan would have toward their favorite idol. I mean, to be fair, there's no denying this face of mine is pretty handsome. Still, I guess you are very good looking, but hearing you talk about it makes me want to vomit. Still, I guess you have a point. With that idea in mind, I can't see it any other way now. The jealousy she displays toward anyone who gets close to Hector seems very similar to the type of behavior I remember seeing in my previous life from fans of specific idols. Candace is still very much a mystery to me, but I could have sworn she was actually in love with you before. Though lately, it seems like she's turned her sights on someone a little closer to home. As if waiting for her cue, we suddenly hear Candace shouting from her position on the couch, and we turn to see what's going on. Come on! I can't believe you're once again falling asleep out here of all places. Go home already, or at the very least, see if there's an empty bed you can use. But this seems like the perfect place for a light snooze. Stop that. Don't fall asleep. You'll be in trouble if I wasn't around to look out for you. I see, I think to myself. Though I can tell even Candace isn't aware of it yet. I'm also interested in seeing what happens with Rini and Angela. I'm not sure if they'll end up as partners, but they're so similar that, at the very least, they'll make close friends, right? Yeah, I see what you mean. I have no idea how things will develop between the rest of them, but there's no denying how close they are already. They definitely tend to rush into things without thinking them through. It's kind of exciting talking about the potential of love lives of the members in our guild. Probably because of my previous knowledge of the game, it reminds me of my past life when I'd feel a similar level of excitement talking about the game with my friends. It was so much fun. I have no desire to go back to that world, though. Which goes back to what I said before. I think you and Hector get along together, belong together, and just like I said, over my dead body. But you two get along so well. You're already friends, just go one step further. She managed to rein us back to the original topic, and I can tell by the smirk on her face that she did it on purpose. I might not love Hector, but it's nice to have someone I can get excited with over something like our past lives. It's pretty fun, in fact. I hope I can continue to have conversations like this with him in the future. But that's it. I have no intention of ever falling in love with him. Back to Miku. We've returned to our usual everyday lives. After going through the hassle of getting the paperwork ready for Laura to join our guild, it's kind of nice to return to my previously peaceful life. The mark from my curse vanished before I realized it was gone. I noticed one night when I went to take a bath. The thinking back to how I acted when I noticed is mortifying. My face feels like it's on fire just thinking about it. What happened, you might ask? Well, I first noticed the mark was gone when I was getting ready to take a bath. I was so shocked and overjoyed that I ran right to Macro's room, forgetting that I wasn't wearing a shirt. Macro! Miku, what is it? You can come on in. I remember banging frantically on his door and him saying frazzled, worried that something might have happened. As soon as he told me to come on in, I did so, still without a shirt. Miku, what are you? Look, the mark is gone. I wonder if that means the curse is gone too. Completely oblivious to how flustered Macro was, his face beat red, I jumped into his arms, crying happily. I was so overcome with joy and relief that the curse was finally gone. The curse was broken the moment we expressed our love for each other. When he kept raining kisses down on my forehead and cheeks. The goddess of light must have taken that as proof of our love. It's really gone, right? I don't have to be afraid anymore, right? It's all thanks to you, Macro. Miku. Noticing my panic, he wrapped his arms around me and held me tightly. Then he dropped his jacket around my shoulders, covering me up while comforting me. I'm so glad to hear that, but you shouldn't have run around half naked. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry? There are no words to describe how I felt at that moment. Even just thinking about it makes me want to writhe on the floor in agony. What's even worse is what he whispered in my ear next. Not that it bothers me or anything, but for your own safety. Because there's a chance I might not be able to stop myself from pouncing. Pouncing? I won't, oh gosh, you don't have to panic. Actually, you look so cute right now, I really might pounce after all. You think I'm cute? I honestly don't remember anything about how after that or how I got back to my room. I was so embarrassed and so frustrated with myself. My face is going to be red for days after, every time I remember. I wish I could just calm down. Sorry for keeping you waiting, Miku. Eep! And today, I finally get back to my work for the first time since all this trouble started. Macro's coming with me since I'm a little worried, which is why I was waiting out here, and when he called my name, startling me half to death. I'm pathetic. Still a little jumpy, huh? I am when you scare me like that. That might have been a bit too mean. But I guess you'll just have to get used to it since I'm not stopping anytime soon. It's his new attitude. He's merciless in so many different ways. I'm not sure how much longer my heart can take how straightforward and direct he is. Sigh. Getting along as well as ever, I see. But if you don't get going soon, you're going to be too late. That's right. Let's go, Macro. I quickly head for the front door in an attempt to hide my embarrassment. Macro's right on my heels, chuckling awkwardly after having been caught while being up to no good. All he does is tease me. I want to get back at him. But what can I do? I wish I could muster up the courage to tease him back once in a while. Before opening the front door, I wheel around to face him. He looks at me, puzzled, wondering what's up, and my heart immediately starts racing. No, I have to be strong. I can do this. Macro? My heart feels like it might leap straight out of my chest, but it doesn't hurt like it did under the curse. The way my heart's pounding is nice, almost comforting. Okay, here goes nothing. Can I hold your hand? I said it. That was all me. The truth is, ever since we confessed our feelings to each other that day, I've always wanted to walk around town with him while holding hands. But the only times we're usually out and about is when we have work to do, and it's never for very long. So I've always felt uncomfortable asking. I figured we could hold hands on a date, whenever that might happen, but I want to be able to touch him so bad. Love is weird. It makes me greedier and greedier by the day. I want more than just your hand. Huh? I almost fall over as he grabs my arm, yanking me closer. Then he drapes his arm around my shoulders while using his other hand to turn my face toward him, which is when I feel something warm and soft on my lips. What? You had that coming, Miku. Teasing me every day with that cute face of yours. I look up in surprise, only to see Macro's bright red cheeks. His action caught me off guard, and I'm so embarrassed, I don't know what to do. But I'm so happy to see Macro feels the same way. You don't have to hold back, you know, I say while hugging him tightly, my heart overflowing with emotions. With my ear pressed up against his chest, I can hear the sound of his own heart racing. Tee-hee, that makes two of us. That's right. It's not fair if I'm the only one with butterflies. In that case, I'll steal kisses whenever I want. Good. I hope so. I look up once more, bringing my face closer to his. We both chuckle as we gently bump our foreheads together. My wistful expression, longing for more, is reflected in his dark eyes. Maybe I'm being a little greedy, but one more kiss won't hurt, right? They're the same height. That's impossible. I mean, he's a dwarf, but still. I softly close my eyes and accept the joy he gives me. Our lips softly brush against each other before parting. We feel our breath intermingling before our lips touch again. I almost forget to breathe as our kiss gradually deepens. I could stay lip-locked like this forever, but we really do need to go. We then bump foreheads once more, gazing into each other's eyes lovingly. Macro and I walk hand in hand through the pleasantly warm sunshine. I have no idea what waits in the future that lies ahead. But we have so many years left, and so many new experiences to look forward to. Some of it may be bad, or sad, or painful, but I know some of it will be happy and joyful as well. It's a future full of mystery to even Claire, Hector, and Laura. Excuse me. That's how it should be, right? With Macro and my other friends by my side, I look forward to whatever surprises our future may bring. Because from now on, the path we walk will lead to the creation of a brand new story, all of our own. Bonus short story. One night, I became a dress-up doll in my own room. You're always so prim and proper, but let's show off your legs sometimes. No way! She should look cute. That's why you dress her like that? Having already changed into 10 different outfits, I sit on the edge of my bed, exhausted. Claire and Laura are starting to argue, quickly getting on each other's nerves, but without the energy to break them up, all I do is chuckle awkwardly. I'm coming in. We're clothes to try on. Welcome back, Candace. These look pretty nice. Which is when Candace bursts in with a few more outfits. Seeing the number of clothes draped over her arm makes me dizzy. Meanwhile, Laura and Claire's eyes begin to sparkle as soon as they catch sight of them. I guess we're not done yet, huh? The room I share with Claire feels very cramped with 4 people stuffed in it. and I feel even more squashed, sitting right here on the bed, surrounded by piles of clothes. I'm starting to get tired, I cry out after finally reaching my limit before promptly falling back onto the bed. The reason this impromptu fashion show is happening at all is basically my fault. I accidentally mentioned to Claire and Laura I was going on my first date with Macro tomorrow. You have to get all dolled up for your first date, they exclaimed cheerfully. They looked at me, stunned, when I told them the only clothes I had were the ones I brought from my village and what I usually wear every day. Claire backed me up, which is when Candace offered to show me a bunch of clothes from her favorite store, and well, here we are. I'm really happy they're excited for me, but I didn't think they'd make me try this many clothes on, and I'm exhausted, but at least it's really helped me feel a little less nervous about my date tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it as so much, there's no way I'll be able to sleep tonight. Oh gosh, it's a little crowded in here, and there are so many clothes. That's when Marino and Angela showed up, meaning all the female members of Lana Killer are here in our room. I guess my date is a big deal. Miku looks like she's ready to collapse. About how is it that y'all are more excited about this than she is, Angela says, chuckling in amusement as she sits next to me on the bed. Thanks for noticing. Marino giggles before speaking up. I understand how they feel, though at the end of the day, I'm sure she's more excited about spending time with Macro than the outfit she's going to wear, right? In response to her words, Claire, Laura, and Candace exchange surprised glances. That's a pretty mature analysis. We're sorry, Miku. We got a little carried away. I'm sorry, too. I just wanted to see you look even cuter than normal. Maybe I went overboard with the clothing selection, sorry. Their apologies caused me to hurriedly sit up. There's nothing to feel bad about. You don't need to apologize. It makes me really happy you all care this much about it. Honestly, I'm the one who should be apologizing for complaining when everyone else is just trying to help. They're all working so hard that I'll have a good time, and yet all I do is complain that I'm tired. As I begin apologizing, feeling really bad about it, the three of them pounce on me at the same time, toppling me back onto the bed. Eep! You're such an angel! You really are such a sweet girl. I'm pretty cute, but you're super cute, Miku. Compliment overload! My cheeks instantly turn red from feeling so embarrassed. Also, I can't move with the three of them on top of me. Unable to stand by while I lay trapped beneath the three girls, Marino grabs Claire, and Angela grabs Laura and Candace, dragging them off of me. They were both so strong. Now then, you'll have a lousy time tomorrow if you're sleep deprived. She's right, meaning we really need to wrap this up. Which outfit do you like the best, Miku? Don't think about it too hard. Just think about the outfit you can imagine yourself wearing while you're with him. Let me see. I'm the one who has to make the final decision, and since everyone has to do work tomorrow, I don't want to keep everyone up late. What outfit can I see myself wearing while on a date with Macro? He always wears black clothes, and his hair and eyes are black, meaning I should probably wear a different color. And yet a part of me likes the idea of a matching color scheme. Suddenly, one article of clothing in particular catches my eye. It's a light blue dress with a thin black ribbon around the waist. The flowing sleeves and hem are decorated with the same ribbon, giving it a slightly mature look. You have expensive taste, my lady. The more grown-up design is really nice. I think it'll go really well with Macro's outfit too. Now that I got a good look at it, I don't think there's really any other option. Yep, this is the perfect dress. Hearing Laura, Candace, and Claire each voice their own complimentary opinion, I find myself feeling embarrassed. It's like they're saying out loud how much I love Macro. Of course I do, but still. Marino and Angela seem to be in agreement as well, smiling charmingly as they chime in. I guess that settles it then. Whew! Thanks for helping me find the perfect outfit. Will this be enough to cover the cost of the dress? All the clothes strewn about the room are pieces that Candace borrowed from a store in town. I figured I should pay for the cost of the clothes we don't return, but in response to my question, everyone simply exchanges amused glances. Huh? What did I do wrong? This is our gift to you, so just accept it like a good girl and enjoy it. A gift? Huh? What? Completely baffled by Laura's words, Claire lightly pats me on the back. Everyone else seems to be nodding in agreement. What's going on? It's our way of saying, we're happy you're feeling better. Since the curse is gone now, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm really happy, but at the same time, I can't accept this. After all, I couldn't have broken the curse if it wasn't for everyone's help and support. It's because of my friends that I'm back to my usual self now. I should be the one buying them gifts. We figured you'd say something like that, but we already decided, so too bad. You have no choice but to take it. As I try to turn it down, Candace puffs out her cheeks in annoyance while telling me to accept it, or else. I am overjoyed that they care this much about me, but their kindness makes me feel really bad at the same time. If it bothers you that much, you can always bring us yummy sweets as a souvenir from your date. I'd love that. I'd never say no to yummy treats. Which is when Marino and Angela pipe up with a compromise of sorts. Oh, that doesn't sound like a bad idea, and that way I can give them a gift of thanks in return. As everyone agrees with this suggestion, I finally feel comfortable accepting their gift. Okay, I'll find something extra special for all of you. Thank you so much, I say while hugging my dress to my chest, taking in everyone's kind smiles. I really am the luckiest girl alive. Tomorrow, I'll be on the hunt for some tasty sweets we can all enjoy together. The next day, I'm all decked out in the dress everyone gave me and can't stop checking my appearance in the mirror to make sure nothing's out of place, and I look perfect. I'm so nervous about my date that's about to start that I don't know if I can go. Unable to watch me looking so anxious, Claire ties back my hair for me. Seeing how different I look with my hair braided fills me with excitement. All dressed up and ready to go, I head downstairs, where Macro is waiting for me. Feeling him staring at me, I find myself start to blush. Good morning, Macro! Do I look weird? Maybe I went a little overboard. That look really suits you. Thanks? He complimented me. I'm so happy I might blush even more. But what do? I don't want him to see me with my cheeks like this red. Plus, he's not saying anything, just standing there staring down at me. I don't know what to do. I think that they might have gotten a little lost in their own little world. Hey, Macro, if you keep standing like that, I'll take Miku on a date myself. Hector! Morning, Miku. You look super adorable. As the two of us standing there, shuffling our feet awkwardly, Hector pops between us, complimenting me cheerfully. It's enough to get Macro moving, who immediately puts his arms around my shoulders, pulling me close. Nope, and no looking either. He then proceeds to drag me to the door without another word. Wait, is it okay to leave just like that? I decide to at least shout out later, see you later, behind us as we head down the hallway. Wow, someone's possessive. Ugh, I'm so jealous of that guy. Getting to go on a date with Miku, who's looking more adorable than usual. I agree. I wish I could go on a date with Miku looking all dressed up. What are you on about? You go out with her all the time. Hee hee, the perks of being your sister. Hector and Claire seem to be getting along. Are they really, though? Honestly, most of the time it sounds more like they're fighting, though they seem to be getting along more and more recently. Enough so that I'm starting to wonder if they're falling in love. Of course, I'd never say that to either of them, because they'd both deny it. But you know it might happen, and if it does, I'll be right there by their side, doing whatever I can to help their feelings for each other blossom and grow stronger. This is a problem. Huh? We leave the guild and walk along in the fresh air, morning air, before Macro mutters, absently almost to himself. I glance over and see his brows furrowed as if worried. What's wrong? I wonder what's wrong. Why did you make yourself look cuter than usual, Miku? What? I'm surprised by his question, while he asks while glancing at me out of the corner of his eye. What does he mean? Before he told me that it suits me, and just now he said I look cute, which should be a compliment, right? But the way he said it makes me feel like I overdressed. Should I have worn my usual clothes? Having grown to Macro's very direct way of speaking, I can usually figure out what he's saying most of the time, but right now, I'm completely stumped. That's not it, but also it's making things difficult. You look so cute right now that I have a hard time looking at you. You think that I'm that cute? Having absolutely no idea what was wrong, to suddenly hear him say something like that was more than my poor heart could take. I didn't realize my heart could ache this much, even without the effects of the curse on me. But it's a happy kind of ache. It's the first time I experienced my heart aching from being too happy. Hmm. Ooh, ooh. Okay, I have to calm down. If I don't, or one day will be cut short. I don't want him to not to look at me, but to be fair, I haven't been able to look at him in the face either, so I guess that makes us even. Time for a boost of courage. Macro, so I'm mustering up my courage. I take a step forward before looking squarely into his face. I can see my nervousness reflected in his dark eyes. Good. We're finally making eye contact for the first time today. But will you look at me? I dressed up just for you, Macro. I spent too much time and effort picking out this outfit yesterday for you not to look. I'm so embarrassed. I want to look away so badly. I want him to look at me, so I force myself to maintain eye contact. I can feel the tears building up in the back of my eyes from the effort. I wait for him to respond, my body trembling faintly. The tension seems to leave Macro's shoulders and he smiles warmly. It's a smile that's so much softer and happier than usual that I find myself overflowing with my love for him. I see. I'm sorry. That makes me really happy to hear. I won't take my eyes off you. He tends to always be fairly emotionless and quiet. There are many times when I have no idea what's going through his mind. And yet, there he is, standing in front of me with a warm smile on his face. I guess that's proof that I make him happy, right? When I said this was a problem, I meant mainly because I want the whole world to see how cute Miku is, but I also want to keep her for myself. That's what he was thinking about, because he's so hard to read. Sometimes his words ambush me. Usually they're compliments, but they make my heart beat so fast that I feel like I might have a heart attack. Maybe I'll get used to it someday, though not anytime soon, that's for sure. I'm going to show off my cute girlfriend while also making sure everyone knows she's mine. So on that note, he suddenly looks completely different from the sulking quiet boy he was just a moment ago. As he smiles at me warmly, he offers his hand. But does that mean he wants to hold hands? Wow! This is my dream date. My dream of holding his hand is finally coming true. I gently place my hand in his, and he squeezes it tightly. It's enough to fill my heart with love for him. Ready to go? Yeah. And just like that, our date has finally started. Teehee! I'm so happy. I'm more than simply happy simply walking along holding hands, which is probably proof of how easy to please I am. Sometimes our eyes would meet and we'd giggle, but there's something I need to do today while we're out. I bring it up while we sit on the bench eating breakfast from a nearby food stall. Sweets, huh? A gift for everyone back home? Yeah, actually, the dress I'm wearing was a gift from Claire and everyone else. They said it was a gift for breaking the curse, but I still felt bad accepting it, which is why I want to give them something in return. Hearing my explanation, he nods in understanding before telling me he'll take me to a store that he really likes. That's right. I forgot that Macro loves sweets. I can't wait. I don't tell many people about it because the sweets there are so delicious. But you're so cute that I'll make an exception. Ah, knock it off. You're always saying stuff like that. I get flustered every time he compliments me or says I'm cute. The words sliding easily from his mouth, seemingly so naturally. Of course I'm flattered, but coming from someone I like as much as him, it also leaves me feeling embarrassed. Lately, he chuckles about every time he says it, giving me the impression he's saying this stuff on purpose, just to get a reaction from me. I'm no match for his teasing. After deciding to head over to the sweet store after lunch, We set out for our first destination, which is a short walk outside of town. There's always the threat of monsters out there, but between the magic gadgets Kiefer made for us and Macro's own earth magic, we should be safe. All I feel right now is excitement from wanting to know where he's taking me. I see it. Huh? Oh, ah! I follow Macro's gaze and immediately notice a patch of something light pink standing out from beneath the field of green grass. Are those flowers? I've never seen a bunch of flowers all in full bloom like that before. It's like a pink carpet. They're not always like this, right? That's right. They're only in full bloom right now, and will be for roughly 10 days, at which point you'll have to wait until next year. I see. So beautiful. I want to run over to see them up close, but I've always been told that it's dangerous to wander off by myself outside of town. So I stay put. Still, I can't help fidgeting since I want to get closer so badly. Your ears and tail are twitching like nuts, Miku. Oh, it's impossible for me to hide my excitement. I'm so embarrassed. Do you want to run over and see it? He asked kindly. Can I? In response, Macro gets down on one knee before holding me on one hand slightly above the ground. A film of light immediately appears over the entirety of the field of flowers. Monsters won't be able to get up close while it's up. Go ahead. Thanks, Macro. Apparently, he knows how to cast a simple warding spell. The fact that he can wield such powerful magic only proves how amazing he is. With his permission, I immediately race over to the field of flowers. Well, at least until I reach the flower bed itself, which is when I start watching my step very carefully. I don't want to crush the flowers by accident. The flowers are very sturdy, Miku. You don't have to be so cautious. Oh yeah? That's so pretty that I feel bad stepping on them even a little. Monsters usually wander around here, and I doubt they go out of their way to walk around the flowers, meaning I'm sure Macro's telling the truth, but they look so beautiful in full bloom that I still do my best to tread very carefully. Seeing me move so slowly anyway makes him chuckle softly. It seems like all he's done today is laugh at me. I guess that's not so bad, though. Why don't you sit under that tree? There's nothing blooming in that spot, and then you can take your time looking at all the flowers. Okay, but come with me, Macro. I'm coming. No need to pull. But since he's the one who made the suggestion in the first place, he doesn't really seem that upset about it. Hee hee, I love that side of him. As I pull him alongside me, he looks flustered for a moment before laughing. I'm so happy that he's finally smiling so much today. Speaking of happiness, that reminds me of something. A warm memory from my childhood. A little dream that I'd love to make come true. Hey, Macro, there's something I want to try. What's that? He looks at me quizzically, and I suddenly seem super self-conscious, though it's a little too late for that. Still, I already asked him, and I want to make my dream come true. Without saying a word, I pat my lap. Huh? You want me to? I can tell Macro's figured out what I'm implying by the slight blush on my cheeks. That's right. I want him to use my lap as a pillow. Bad idea? I didn't say that. He looks off to the side as if feeling conflicted, but then he slowly sits down on the ground before lying down and resting his head on my thighs. Oh gosh, this is so much more embarrassing than I thought it would be. With his head resting on my lap, he closes his eyes as if in embarrassment. So back in my village, my parents used to do this kind of thing all the time. I always thought they were so in love, which is why I wanted to try it too. I explained why I wanted to do this to help hide my embarrassment, and Macro slowly opens his eyes. The corners of his lips curl up in a smile. I see. So your parents were pretty close too, right? And with that, he looks at me lovingly before closing his eyes again. The peaceful expression on his face makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. It's a strange feeling that seems to be a mixture of excitement and warmth. This is really nice. I feel so comfortable like this, but also a little nervous. I feel the same way. I reach down and gently stroke his head. His black hair is silky and smooth. He lets me play with his hair without a word of complaint. Oh! I'm so happy right now. I was really scared when that horde of monsters threatened our village, but I would never have met Macro if that hadn't happened. And if I had never ventured out from my village, I never would have fallen in love with him. Perhaps it was partly because of that story from the game, but if so, then I guess I'm grateful it existed to begin with, because it led to a future full of happiness. I'm so happy I met him, and for this experience of falling in love. I'm so happy I met you, Miku. I never thought I could love someone as much as I love you, he says quietly, as I continue running my fingers through his hair, putting his thoughts into words. I find myself giggling unconsciously. I was just thinking the same thing. I guess we're on the same page, huh? Giggling happily, Macro opens his eyes and reaches up toward me. His fingers run through my hair softly before he strokes my cheek. Then, is it safe to say you're in the mood for the same thing I am? Macro. I have a feeling the answer is probably yes. I can feel his hot gaze on my lips. He sits up before patting his head back on the back of his hand, pulling me close. I give in to his touch, allowing him to pull my face closer to his. The tips of our noses rub together, and I feel his breath against my lips as he murmurs quietly, I love you, Miku. I love you too, Macro. A fresh breeze blows past us, scattering flower petals through the air. It's as if the flowers themselves are giving us their blessing, filling my heart with joy. I wonder if there's a limit to how much happiness one person can feel. I feel like I'm always breaking the limit with each passing day. No, that's not right. It's more like the happiness I do have grows stronger. I look forward to joyful moments that always await in the days to come. That's what I think of the two of us shower each other with happiness over and over. After spending a relaxing morning together, we return to town for lunch and then have fun picking out gifts for everyone back at the guild. Everything in Macro's favorite sweet store looks so good, it's hard making up my mind. After picking an appropriate gift for all of our friends, we each get a treat to enjoy at the store. We ended up having a hard time picking out two, but Macro gets us an extra sweet for fun. He's so nice! This is the first time I've eaten in the store. Really? Macro tells us as we sat down and set our cute mini cakes in front of us on the table. He goes on to explain how he always gets takeout and eats it at the guild. I can see how it might be uncomfortable for a guy to sit in a store as cute as this one, all by himself. We should come here together once more often, like once a month. I'd love that. Gives us more to look forward to. Which means I'll have to work as hard as I can. The cakes here are fairly expensive, but they'll be a nice monthly treat for a job well done. Delicious sweets in Macro's eyes, sparkling with delight. Knowing that's what I have to do, look forward to, is all the motivation I need. I hope Macro feels the same way. We take a leisurely stroll around town, getting back toward the guild well before sunset. Upon entering the living room, we find Claire and Hector having a passionate conversation at the dining room table. I have a feeling it's probably about the game, or maybe the world from their previous lives. The two of them, along with Laura, tend to get excited whenever they talk about stuff like that. Their conversations turn so heated sometimes that they sound more like arguments than friendly chats. I guess it means they're getting along, huh? What, you're back already? Welcome back, you two. But I wasn't expecting you guys until much later. The most romantic part of the day is just getting started. Noticing us, the two of them pipe up practically at the same time with other comments. Gosh, we've only just arrived and they're already teasing us. Maybe I should give them a taste of their own medicine. Are you guys upset that we got to them early and intruded on your alone time? Hearing me say that with a big grin on my face, Claire and Hector noticeably freeze at the same time. They really are good friends. There's no intruding happening in no way, shape, or form. I'd rather talk to you than Hector anyway. I feel the same way. We just have a couple of overlapping interests. Don't get any weird ideas about it, Miku. They're acting increasingly suspicious. The more I poke them, the harder they dig their heels in. I exchange a knowing glance with Macro, grinning. We brought back gifts. Want to eat it now? They seem so flustered that I decide to help them out by changing the subject, and Claire immediately jumps up from her seat before going to get Laura, while Hector goes to get Rinny. I set aside some of the sweets for the members who aren't in the guild right now. I'll bring it home to them tomorrow. I think to myself as I start making tea. Let me help. Thanks, Macro. We stand side by side in the kitchen, brewing tea. As he gets the plates, cups, and utensils ready, I tell him something that I haven't said yet today. I had such a good time, Macro. Thanks. He stops for a moment, his eyes wide in surprise. Then he immediately smiles warmly back at me, returning to the task at hand. Me too. Today was so much fun, but hearing you say that makes me the happiest man alive. I remember Claire mentioning to me once that Macro's name means big. It's the opposite of Macro himself, which means pretty short, but considering his huge heart and enormous ability, I think it suits him perfectly. Yay, yay. Did someone say gifts? Is there something for me? I hate sweets. Laura and Rinny's voices ring out from the living room. Sounds like everyone's here. So then don't eat it, you picky ginger. What did you just call me, you black-haired grouch? I made sure to pick out something you would like, Rinny, so please don't fight, okay? My friends being their usual selves in this snapshot from our day-to-day lives, there may be arguments from time to time, and we might even have to deal with another life-altering incident. But I know I can get through anything as long as I have my friends with me. This is where I belong, right here with them. Sheesh, knocking our heads like always, huh? Why don't you two take on a job together sometime? It might help you get along better. That's absolutely out of the question. Maybe once hell freezes over. It happened once, actually, and it was a complete disaster. Want to hear about it? The conversation only grows livelier as everyone takes their seat at the table. I love them. I love the Lana Killer Guild members so much. Let's eat. Go ahead and take whichever one you like. Everyone immediately reaches for the sweet that calls to them the most. They settle into their usual chit-chat about their days while enjoying their sweets. I glance over at Macro out of the corner of my eye and catch him looking back. We both smile warmly at each other. I hope the joy I'm feeling right now lasts forever. Alright, I'll read the afterword. It's only a page. What did you think about the struggles of the twin Fox girls? They fought hard to escape their supposedly predestined fate, chose to follow a different path, and still somehow ended up following the story anyway. I hope I did a good job of portraying characters who want to take control of their own lives instead of following the path set forth them by somebody else. I saw the characters in this story much like Laura herself did. As the author, I adore all my characters. I often find myself conflicted over the challenges they faced. Part of me wanted them to have a peaceful life as possible, or writing them into tricky situations. Which is why I relate to Laura's character the best. The story might be over, but their individual journeys are not. They'll continue working hard, blossoming in ever-growing relationships. And as they go about their normal everyday lives, I hope that they get there happily ever after, no matter the mishaps and hardships they face along the way. Finally, I want to extend my deepest gratitude to everyone who worked so hard helping to translate and publish my book, to the wonderful illustrator who once again created some truly magnificent illustrations, and to everyone else who was involved along the way. Thank you so much for helping to bring my story to life. And of course, a big special thank you to all my lovely readers. I wish you all the best from the bottom of my heart. I hope my book brought you a moment of joy while reading it. It's my hope that we will meet again someday in the journeys to come. All right. That's the end of the reading stream. We are now going to do our raid. End stream. do have my regulars are on. We have... of course, Saint Cisco, Chef Barry... see if there's anybody. We're gonna raid Barry.